which the Eagles ran successfully for a first down 92.5% of the time this past season, is not on the competition committee's agenda. At the Corewell Health Update Desk, I'm Beanie Howell. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Boy, as tempting as it would be to get into that Izzo audio, we are going to show personal growth, and we're going to show a care factor for our audience. Yeah.
Sure you don't want to dive into it?
Yeah, we can get to it later.
Okay.
Because he ain't going nowhere, and that audio ain't going nowhere, so we can do it at 4.
Yeah, he was loaded for bear.
Oh, please. Let's stick to what the news of the day is, and we're just going to jump right in. The Wings have put a garbage can on their uniforms, and Kenny's back, and he sounds like a garbage can. So we're over 2 here. No, what is it? A dumpster company or whatever it is?
Waste
is that
management.
what they did?
Yeah, it's a dumpster company. That's a real way to win games. The
No, I
losing
was just
streak
like,
starts
that's a little
today.
bit of a bad omen, isn't it?
It's a terrible
You're on a
omen.
6-game win streak, and we just put a trash receptacle on the jersey.
Yeah, what could you possibly do to ruin your shot at making a playoff run?
You know what? Lose to the Islanders.
Yes.
Don't lose to the Islanders tonight. Let's make it 7 in a row. Let's continue the good vibes. 2 back of Toronto. Let's make magic. Ruvkov Gudas, or whatever his name is.
Kenny, how confident are you going into this game?
0. I bet Isles money line. Even money.
Okay.
Once
All
you put
because of the jersey.
Once you put a dumpster on your jersey, I'm sorry, it's over for me.
All right, we're going to get to the real news of the day, though. I know, but let's do this. We told you Combine Week, specifically Combine Day, where players begin to actually work out and run today. You'll start to hear news. You'll start to hear about agents meeting with teams, free agency deals, rumors, etc. Well, we have one, and it involves, Rico, this show's quarterback. That's my quarterback. Jordan Schultz of the Bleacher Report believes Jared Goff is going to get a deal done, and it will be between $40 and $45 million a year. So the way Rico and I have decided to do this, that's Rico's vote. The way we've decided to do it is this. Let's pretend we're at a wedding, and they get to that part that I swear no one's ever stood up and said anything, where they go, hey, speak now or forever hold your peace. I really need to hear from the people. Not at 48, not at 50, not at 52. Between 40 and 45 a year. Jared Goff currently makes $32 million. Between 40 and 45 million a year. How could any of you knuckleheads have a problem with this? I need to hear it. Because that seems like a team-friendly, also rewards the player. I'm not going to minimize $200 million over 5 years. Jared ain't going to be at the soup kitchen. It works for the team.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make essentially 2/3 of what an elite Joe Burrow would make. He'll be at 40, 42, 44. I think you're seeing QB deals in the 60s soon enough.
I think this is him saying, I realize that I'm not Burrow. I'm not Mahomes. I'm not going to come in here and try to break the bank.
How about I'm happy?
Right.
How about I like it here?
How about this city backed me? This city believed in me. This city gave me an opportunity, and I didn't have to constantly look over my shoulder when I made mistakes, because you saw the confidence in Jared Goff as the years went on. Normally, if I make a mistake, I got to look at who's warming up. Nobody, Jared. It's just an interception. We all throw them. Now go back out there and throw a touchdown. It got to the point where it was almost a guarantee. Once he threw a pick, he was about to throw a touchdown. They made up for every mistake. City believed in him, and he knows there's really nothing that I can't buy with $45 million that I could buy at $50 million, except I can keep more teammates around me, keep this thing together, and really solidify Detroit as a special place.
This is a no-brainer.
This is right. This is like, let's do this right now.
Right. If Jordan Schultz's reporting is right, and the contract, obviously, if he signed for 40, does it make a difference between 40 and 45? It does. It does. I mean, that's a David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're looking at contractual obligation, My point is, every bit of $45 million is still a value to me, to you, to I think sensible people. Now, if you're one of these people who's all horny for a mobile quarterback and you just won't rest until you have one, I can't help you. Nothing I can do for you. You're not ready to accept help.
No, but the question is, for those people out there, this is not speak now, forever hold your peace. Goff, let's just hypothetically say this report is true. You can get him at $45 million. If you don't want this deal to happen, tell us why. Give us reasons why. 248-539-9797. Speak now
Or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
By the way, have you ever been at a wedding where anyone's ever?
No.
Neither have I. I couldn't imagine standing up and saying something.
Like I think the most was a cough. We were talking in the crosstalk, like somebody coughed, but it was just one of those. I just got a little tickle in it. Sorry about that.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
That's when you look over at the one ex who was invited to the wedding. Like, you got something to say, David?
David, do you have something to say? Again, Bleacher Report, Jordan Schultz, Goff's contract will be between 40 and 45 a year. I was surprised it was that low, pleasantly surprised if his reporting is right. I just don't see how anyone could voice dissent. I don't. He makes 32 now. The cap went up $31 million year over year. You think I'm fussing about locking my quarterback in for an $8 to $10 million raise? Absolutely not.
And I also think that number psychologically is good. He's allowed to make mistakes at $45 million. And I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but at $50 million, at 5-0, to some people, that's just way too much money. 45 million, it's like, gas prices. It's really something, 0.9999. They just don't round it up because in your mind, you're thinking you're getting it at a cheaper price. Same thing here. $50 million means you can't have a game where you throw 2 picks. Oh, my God, he's a $50 million quarterback. What are we doing? $45 million, you're not really going to talk about it.
So here's the range, by the way. Just for if you're a Goff fan, this should make you feel good. If you're a anti-Goff person, I think it's going to make you uncomfortable because I think your argument, it's not holding water. Here are the quarterbacks that make between $40 and $45 million a year. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, and for right now, Pat Mahomes. I have a feeling that will change. After that, Kyler Murray makes 46. There's your separator. There are 5 guys in the league making 50 or more. It could be Russell Wilson for 10 more minutes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Now, deals will get done. More guys will enter that club. Burrow tops the list at 55. You're going to see quarterbacks getting deals. It's going to begin creeping to 60. Mm-hmm. If Goff makes 40 and the top guys make 60, that's a steal. If Goff makes 45 and the top guys make 60, it's still a steal.
Yep.
So if you don't like this, need reasons why. You don't just you got to help us understand.
And if you really believe Hendon Hooker is the guy, explain why he's that guy.
But based on what?
No, Mike.
You're asking me to deal with dumb, and I don't want to do that.
It's not dealing with dumb. It's just let's hear the people out.
Okay, but you know what they're going to reference? Tennessee highlights from a year and a half ago pre-ACL injury in an offense that has no relationship to an NFL one. And the guy has yet to take a snap in the National Football League. I cannot take that seriously.
We're asking the people to call. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I want to state for the record in front of the church that he asked them to call on that crap, not me.
No, because that may be one of the reasons why you want to say, you know what? No, I don't want this deal. I want to hear it. Okay. I don't have to agree with the perspective, but at least I owe you the right of hearing what you have to say.
And here's the other thing.
Now, the wedding's going to still go on. You can speak now, but we're still getting married.
So hold on. When separate topic, but I am fascinated by it. So if someone does speak and they say something heinous and they object to the union, the wedding does continue?
Well, it depends on what the person says.
Oh, boy.
Now, nowadays, if the person shows up and was like, well, she was with me last night. Okay, you know what? We're done. We're done. Right. You got receipts? We're done. Or, yeah, all of a sudden it's that person is like, yeah, I just got back one of those genealogy things and you two are cousins. Okay, we're done.
So listen, unbelievable. Here's the other thing. If Jordan Schultz reporting from Bleacher Report is accurate, is it fair? Is it more fair or more unfair of me to give Goff credit for giving this team a little bit of a discount? I feel like if this number's 40, 42, 43, 45, if it's in that range, don't you feel like he gave them a little hometown discount? He didn't string them up for 50.
I feel like it's a good faith. You stuck with me.
I'll stick with you.
When you didn't have to, guess what?
And you can keep more players around.
I'm not going to change. You believed in me.
But if you
I
can
believe
change,
in you.
and I can change.
We all can change.
That's right. 248-539-9797. David, what's your take on this?
Play that drop again.
This? Or this?
Either way is my reaction to this news. If this is true and this is what he'll sign for or is willing to sign for, then yes, because this allows all those Lions fans that are afraid, well, we have to pay our quarterback, we can't do this. No, you will be able to do this. So you should enjoy and you should be loving it. I don't want to hear about Hendon Hooker. I'm not like Rico. I don't want to hear from you. I don't. Okay?
We can't ask them to speak now and then say, I don't want to hear from you. I am saying let's be open. Let's be objective. Let's have a judgment-free.
But if they're going to stand up and speak and they have constructive criticism to the union, that's one thing. If they're just going to stand up and call the dude a crackhead or accuse the woman of being a hooker, like, I'm sorry, we don't need that type of speech.
No, but that's
Hendon Hooker's like calling the bride a hooker. It's inappropriate.
It's not. He's your backup QB. Now, if you were saying they need to go out and trade and bring in Russell Wilson, you're a crackhead. Get out.
Got it.
But Hendon Hooker's on this roster. The Lions took Hendon Hooker for a reason. So I can't be angry when some fans are buying in their stock really low on Hendon Hooker.
Okay. We've established it. Jordan Schultz, Bleacher Report, he's claiming Goff's deal will be between 40 and 45 mil, which means there's going to be a deal. And if it is at that number, I've given you the context within the league. We've given you the level of discount that seems to be going on here. And I really don't see how we all just, in a harmonious manner, don't walk down the aisle together. But if you got a problem with this, speak now or forever hold your peace. Jared Goff edition, 248-539-9797. In an instant, an auto accident can put you in the worst financial position of your life. It is a must to hire the right lawyer. Make sure the insurance company pays what they owe you. Injury attorney David Feminini and his team. They've been making insurance companies pay for over 30 years. David's ready to speak to you personally right now when you call 855-65-CRASH or you go to that website, getdavidgetpaid.com. All right, so you get the Jordan Schultz report from Bleacher Report of where Goff's deal will land. Matches up with certain projections. We are at a point, free agency now, less than 2 weeks away. A Goff deal between 40 and 45 mil. Speak now or forever hold your peace on it. I think it'd be a home run. And I think he would, by the second year of this deal, it would go from being a fair, really a discounted deal by a few $1 million to being one of the best value contracts in the league. Once these salaries begin hitting 60 and you're at 40 or 42, it's a home run. Like, I wouldn't blink if they paid him 50 a year. So for me, it's never been a question. If you have a franchise quarterback, pay him. Because you don't want to join the list of teams like mine that doesn't have one. David, ticket text, and we'll get to the callers.
You know what? The funny thing, though, real quick, and you probably know this, but I was just looking. You guys kind of got a little bit of an out with Daniel Jones.
Yes.
It's like you only have to pay him one more year, so you could bite the bullet and just say, screw it. You're going to be a high-paid backup. So,
well, that's what I'd like to do. But, yeah, let's not go there.
Go ahead, Dave.
Told you Goff wasn't looking to break the bank. We are so lucky to have Goff. He's going to take less. I love this. People are not happy with this.
Who did he tell? I don't know who the F you are. You think typing into your phone and sending 5,000 texts that I don't read, like we were keenly aware of Pete and Wixom?
Yeah,
Holy murder. I told you. Who are you?
People are.
I told you.
Okay.
People not happy with this are crazy. This was a great price to bring back a veteran quarterback. Scott in Carlton says that's a Tom Brady-esque hometown discount. Sign it, get it done. But what about Hooker? LOL, he says. As Teddy KGB once said, pay that man his money now for that price. John in Lake Orion.
That price just seems so fair, like so good for the team. It openly will allow you to keep other players. So, yeah, I want to hear from the people. Let's see where they're at with it. Let's go to Houston 97.1. Hello, Houston.
Howdy ho, neighbor. Thanks for taking my call. First up, I want to humbly apologize. You were calling for a dissenting view. I'm going to hit it and quit it like I always do. First up, one of you guys' favorite, one of your peers on here who I love is Patrick Caputo. And I didn't do what you guys did to have a radio show and have this forum, but I agreed with his point 100%. Dude, we ain't got to pay this dude a dime. We can wait this year. We don't have to do it. He's under contract. But what I do, as any rational person does, I look at the information that I have at that intersection of time, and then I make a decision. If this dude want to come down for $43, $44 million, you sign him yesterday. That is a big deal. That fix everything. We can have him, and then Hooker can be our Jordan Love. He sits up there. He holds his clipboard. If Goff doggone tweaks an ankle, he goes in for a game. We'll see what he got, and that's it. So I'm with this 100%. I'm sorry you asked for dissenting.
No, you're fine.
No, you're fine, Houston.
And here's the other thing. Pat's not wrong. Understand this. It's not right and wrong. It's a different approach. Pat is not wrong. I'll say that for the people in the back. I worry about things that I can't prove, which is I think if you alienate your quarterback, if you look at it like this, outside looking in, wait a minute, from an NFLPA perspective, Jared Goff led them to a division title, 2 playoff wins. He's played Pro Bowl football for multiple years for them, and they're stringing him out. That can hurt your reputation around the league. Now, you
don't get all those A's that the NFLPA gave you yesterday.
And you may not care, and that's okay. That is a different way of doing it. And look, Pat's had some very interesting conversations about it. I have a different viewpoint on it where if I identify a guy who I think is my franchise quarterback, I'm not letting him into the last year of the deal because here's why. Then you're staring at the franchise tag, and you're staring at delivering these bombshells of fully guaranteed money. And I worry that if we wait a year, the cost only goes up. Now, you could make the case, well, play him this year, franchise him the year after, then throw him into the ocean. Well, I don't share that perspective. I think he's young enough where I can make a 4-year commitment and feel pretty good about it. So there's different ways to do it. I just generally don't think playing a game of chicken with your quarterback's a good idea.
You play a game of chicken with your quarterback when you really don't think that it's going to last. You thinking that you caught them at the tail end of their career, and when the wheels fall off, hopefully you've saved yourself a lot of money. There's no vote of confidence in playing chicken with a QB. You're hoping for them to fail. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes. Let's go to Dannon, 97.1. What's up, Dannon?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to concur with the last caller. I mean, this is a no-brainer, being able to sign this guy between $40 and $45 million. I really expect with Jared Goff to win a Super Bowl. We have, Hooker, you keep him, as a backup quarterback. But what he was able to do, just having the opportunity to get some more pieces around him and to build off what you did last year, it's a no-brainer. We need to, like the previous caller stated, we need to make this deal yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, that's what it feels like. It's really hard. And look, you got to separate worlds. Like, this isn't a debate of whether you think quarterbacks make too much money. That's a different conversation. Within the framework of the accepted amount that quarterbacks are paid, he still will be nowhere close to the highest paid guy in football. He won't be in the top 5. He won't be in the top 6. He won't be in the top 7 year one of the deal. If he's only making $40 million, he will reside outside of the top 12.
Right. But you know what the funny thing is? When you came across that list of all the different quarterbacks, Mike, pretty much all of them except for Kyler Murray, they're playoff quarterbacks, which means you're on a good team, and you realize you're on a good team. Now, Kyler, I can't explain that. They jumped the gun on that contract. But everybody else, of all the quarterbacks that you named, he's in that range of playoff QBs. And look at what he did. He's a playoff QB.
Go to Dennis, 97.1. Hi, Dennis. Dennis?
How are you?
Good.
Hey.
I don't think Goff's worth more than 40 because for him to play well, he needs an offensive line. You got Taylor Decker coming up on a contract. You got Penny Sewell. Then you got St. Brown coming up. You got to spread the money around. You're talking about giving him half of the salary increase. He's making like 27 this year with another. He's credited with $5 million on his bonus for his salary cap. So you're talking about putting about half that money right on him.
Yes. So, all right, let's say his
That's
reps
not a
come
good idea because it takes too much money away from the multitude of players you have to re-sign.
Okay, so who am I worried
now
about?
You're listening to
Will you just shut up for a second? Shut up. Shut up. I gave you your time. Now I'm going to try to ask you a question, or you can hang up like a bitch. Your call. Not doing it with you people today. It's very simple. I wanted to ask you a question, but your mumbling ass could not fathom that. Your quarterback comes back and says, I want 42.5, and Einstein over there is going to lose him for 2.5 mil. Second of all, Frank Ragnow's probably not going to be here in a year. You're going to save money there. Here's another fun fact. There's absolutely no guarantee Taylor Decker signs another deal here because you're sitting on the best tackle in football on the right side. Penei Sewell probably takes that spot, and you start over at right tackle. But see, you're not around for that part of the conversation.
I was lost that he said he was going to get half the money. Like, that's not.
He's making things up, Rico. That's the whole point. Go look at what the AAV represents in a $251 million salary cap. Half of the increase? Where else would you put the money? You're telling me you'd rather put the money in what? Something that's not your quarterback?
I mean,
you want to lose your quarterback over some hardline demand of $40 million? I was only going to ask the man, what if he comes back at 42.5? But he wouldn't shut up. Then he hangs up like a little child. Get lost. Never call again. Next. Yes, Rico. No, it's just so GD annoying. You just want to talk sports, and this guy thinks we're talking Putin.
See, that's where you get the
How can you be that hard up to not pay your quarterback that you'd lose him over $2 million?
And I wanted to hear that answer because
it's not my fault he's not here.
No, he had a hard line in the sand. This is it. Okay, so
Great.
if he came in and said $42 million, you can walk, you can leave. Really, you're gonna start all over. I don't think you want to see that here in Detroit. You've now tasted. You sat at the big boy table. You're not trying to go back to poverty, and that would be going back to poverty.
You imagine drawing a hard line? Well, 40 and not a penny more. 41. No.
Get out. Okay, we got the ushers. We got what was his name? Larry. He's gone. Ushers came and escorted him out.
Escort that man out.
Wedding continues.
I mean,
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Just makes sense. That's all I ask.
the NFL
please.
gave you a gift with the $31 million increase in the salary cap, and you're worried about taking half of that gift and securing your quarterback at not a new rate that is exponentially higher or not commiserate with his level of play. Now, what Goff's representatives, if I were representing Goff, what I would have done? Wow, look at that new salary cap. The offer starts with a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But that, according to Jordan Schultz, that's not what they're doing. Yeah. Can't do it. I told you when you said you wanted to do this topic. I said, I'm not going to do silly season.
It's not silly season. No. All I ask.
I don't have any more patience left.
Makes sense. That's all. Come with a strong argument. That's all I'm asking. But that one, I can't help. You know what?
Read something.
Xfinity connects me to more of the great game that I love. And now that football season is over, it gives me a chance to catch up on some of my favorite shows. Hey, Death and Other Details on Hulu. Check it out. With Xfinity Internet, I get the speed I need at a great price, and you too can get the speed you need at a great price thanks to the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network, delivering to more homes than any other network. Enjoy all your favorite apps, all in one place with the Flex 4K streaming box, all with Xfinity Internet. Xfinity allows me to stream all my favorite shows without interruption. That means you can get the latest scores as they happen, latest injury updates, heck, who just got drafted, what the combine numbers are. Choose from a variety of speeds depending on your needs, including gig speeds up to 1.2 gigabits per second. Enjoy reliable internet on all your devices. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY, visit Xfinity.com, or just drop into a local Xfinity store today for more details. Maximum download speed of 940 megabits per second when hardwired via Ethernet. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds.
All right, topic of the day so far, it's Goff. And whether it was the report from Bleacher Report, he'll get between 40 and 45 a year, or SpotTrack has the projections for all free agents. 4 at 180 is what Goff would be, which is $45 million a year. And not totally guaranteed, but effective guarantees, probably around 150. Look, it's below market value because if you don't have a quarterback, you'll do anything in your power to get one. It's 4 years, not 6 or 7. It's 45, not 50 or 52. Cap went way up. You have no commitments. And I'm sure that brain surgeon who called in a few minutes ago, I'm sure he's looked at the cap table for 2025, 26, and 27, including years where you have literally $18 on the books. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pay my quarterback because by 2026 and 27, quarterbacks will be making $70 million a year, and the salary cap will be approaching $300 million, and you'll be paying yours 45. But I'm sure he had it all figured out. As I get older, my tolerance for dumb people is very low. It's
No, I
hard.
understand. It comes with the territory. Comes with the territory. That's why I said make a real tangible argument on why. Because there may be people out there, but just make it make sense.
I'd rather you call up and just tell me, listen, I don't believe you can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff at any price.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset. I'll disagree with it. But at least your take is rooted in, I think he's good.
Right
I
there.
don't think he'll ever be able to go head up against a Burrow or against a Mahomes.
Right there.
And I don't think he can get that done. We can have that conversation.
Or even, I will even take the fact of, hey, he may be a quarterback that's a dinosaur in the league. You need to upgrade and get a new age quarterback. And yes, that mobile type quarterback. And I think that's where the future should be invested. I can live with that. But the hard line, well, not one penny over 40 million. That's it.
That's yours. The blood's on your hands with that one.
Oh, that's one.
That's one. Let's go to Glenn, 97.1. Glenn, how you doing today? Sorry about that.
Hey guys, good. That last call was pretty entertaining. But anyways, yeah, I think if you signed him anywhere from 40 to 45 million, that would be an absolute steal. I mean, your Giants are paying Daniel Jones that type of money, so I would love it.
Aware. I'm aware.
Yeah, sorry, man. I mean, if you look at it, it's like what would you rather have, Joe Burrow or Jared Goff with the top 5 O-line? Because at that price point, that's pretty much what you're saying. And Jared Goff is shown with the top 5 O-line. He's arguably a top 3 quarterback in the league. So I absolutely love it. The one thing that makes me think, though, and to preface this, I thought they should have signed him to an extension last year. And then when they picked Hooker, I was like, okay, maybe they're trying to develop him for the future. But with his age and his contract, now that pick really makes zero sense to me. Because I'm looking at it as like you actually spent a 3rd-round pick on a backup quarterback when we could have picked a guard or another D tackle at the end. So now it really makes me hate that pick, especially with last year how close we were. If he ends up developing into a franchise quarterback, great, but it's going to be 30 years old before that happens.
There it is.
Goff contract.
And you know what? A lot of people got upset, Glenn, when we busted chops about the kid's age. But it's a real thing when you start doing what you did, which is the smart thing.
I didn't mind the Hendon Hooker pick. I'm like, okay, fine, let's see how it goes. But if you're signing Goff to this extension, that really just now it doesn't really make sense because someone mentioned, we can do the Jordan Love thing with him. Well, Jordan Love is 23 or 24. He's 2 years younger than Hooker is, and Hooker just finished his rookie season. So that argument kind of falls on its head. But I mean, yeah, I love the pick. I love the contract. It just makes me really, really not like that Hendon Hooker pick now. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I think it's great. I love Jared Goff. I think he's going to be a great quarterback with this type of O-line. And also, and lastly, you can push that money this year that Goff is owed into later years, even freeing up even more cap space. So now you can really sign someone in free agency. If Chris Jones or anyone of that caliber hits free agency, you're going to have a ton of money to pay for it now. This is great.
I'm so glad.
I love it.
I'm so glad Glenn said this.
I'm excited.
Oh, God, you're an angel, Glenn. You're a beautiful man.
So excited.
Thank you for saying
that
all
last
these
guy,
things.
he didn't know what he was talking about because what he was saying did not make sense. You can now push somebody down the line, and you owe virtually Goff nothing this year, relatively speaking. So now the cap space is even there's even more. So
That's been my point. I love Glenn. Glenn's welcome anytime. I'm more of Glenn.
Glenn could call back.
Glenn, have 13 kids. Have them all call the show. The point is,
Glenn got invited to the cookout day.
but it's why I have no respect for the people who do this whole, concern trolling and fear mongering of, we don't have the money.
Yeah,
Stop.
Yeah, what bothers me is, we're going to have to pay all of these people 3-4 years from now. I don't care. Cap will be different. It'll probably be an extra $50 million added to the cap, and you can find a way. Hey, guys, the New Orleans Saints did not go out of business.
I've heard that.
They were $75 million over the cap.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, if you want to play this game and play it out, you do realize by the time you get to the negotiating table with Taylor Decker, he's 31 years old, right? How do you know you're giving him a 5-year deal to make him one of the highest
You may
paid
not
left
want
tackles in football?
You may not want him.
Because you know what you have? Arguably the best tackle in football.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's what also happens. Brad Holmes, great at drafting. Maybe he picked up another tackle in the 3rd round, and you now have your...
So my point is, I'm not worrying about it.
Exactly. That's the one argument I got. Well, we got to pay Aiden, and we got to pay Laporta, and we got to pay all these people. Worry about that.
How do you know Sam Laporta will be able to play football in 4 years? How do you know? Like, how do you even know what happens next? You don't. You could plan for it. You could say these are my cornerstone guys, but the reality is what Rico just said. By the time you go to pay a Sam Laporta, the salary cap's north of $300 million. The hell are we even talking about? I mean, it's just you're creating roadblocks for yourself that don't even exist. Go to Doug, 97.1. Douglas, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Good, Doug. What's on your mind, buddy?
So when you guys talked about that, I immediately was like, all right, I never call, but I'm going to call. I was juiced. If he wants 45 and under, you send that contract today. If he wants 40, you leave the combine and you say, hey, Dan, take a look, watch these 10 guys, and you fly to wherever he's at and you sign him right now. Because what he is saying is, I'm happy here. And think of the example that he's setting for the rest of the team. Maybe these guys, maybe Amon-Ra won't want top dollar. Maybe he'll want top 5, top 3. That'll save a little bit of money. Maybe Hutch will want top 5. Maybe he won't want to break the bank and he'll want top 3, top 5. The example that he's setting is leading your team to winning. And not only that, the salary cap is not concrete. You literally spread out a guy's contract and bonuses and hit against the cap to where it actually fluctuates with your other big cap hits. I don't understand what these people are even talking about. If he wants $40 million, you go sign him today.
That's it. Doug, I'm with you. And again, I am not for a second telling you, oh, I know everything about the cap. No. I'm not a lawyer and a capologist, but I have a good working understanding of how it works, the tricks you can use, and how we've come to an understanding in this league. The cap is just not real. It's not. Now, you can put yourself in cap hell. It's like ice cream. You have a little bit, you're okay. You eat it every night for 10 years, you're on my 600-pound life. You can't restructure everyone all the time and kick money down the road all the time because eventually tomorrow becomes today and you're bleep up. Like, that's not what any of us are telling them to do. You've got people, when you have the 8th amount of cap space, paralyzed with fear of signing one legitimate free agent or paying their quarterback non-top 10 money. It's just a complete lack of understanding because they've never been here before.
New money. That's how I like to equate new money. Man, don't understand. We're going to go broke and then we're going to lose everybody. No, you never go broke. Have you ever wondered why all the top teams stay the top teams and how they manage to make everybody happy? Occasionally you'll get the one player that has to leave to go somewhere else. But it was like Chris Jones. The Chiefs, he had to play a little game of chicken. He missed a game. They lose the game. And all of a sudden, miraculously, they found a way to bring him back on the team. They're going to find a way to bring him back because the Chiefs know we'll make this work.
Right. And again, they're in the midst of a 5-year historical run. It's a dynasty. Okay, are they probably going to lose L'Jarius Sneed? If he finds a contract that pays him $20 million a year.
You'll lose one or two people. But the majority of the people, they know a good thing and say, you know what? I can break the bank and go play for, Tampa, or I could go play for, whoever, the Steelers, or I can stay here and keep winning rings. I think I like rings. I'm going to stay here.
Seems very logical.
Unless you go over $40 million.
It's going to stick with me all day.
I know.
Natural,
hey, if it's going to count against me, I'm going to make it count.
Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Get green. Stay green. With Natural Way, just call 888-GET-GREEN or go to naturalwaylawn.com for all of your lawn care needs for a limited time only. You purchase a full lawn program, you get free grub control, free insect control. All you got to do is mention my name. You could say, I hate that guy in the afternoons. Can't stand him. Don't care. I'll still take care of your lawn for you. Don't
Are you talking
wait.
about you?
Me.
Not me.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
okay.
We love Rico Beard. We hate the Italian guy. Don't care. I'll still make sure your lawn looks nice, even if you're a bleep hole. Go to Natural Way. Their offer for a complete season of care, it's second to none. They got pros doing the application, custom tailored solutions for your lawn. It's all there. It's Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Just call 888-GET-GREEN. All right, let's get a little football today. We'll get back to your phone calls momentarily. David, music.
So the NFL Combine on-field workouts begin today. The defensive linemen and the linebackers will run and do drills later today. So we're going to get into some intriguing prospects going into the Combine for the draft. But before we do that, something news that came across that I don't understand this at all. Before we get to this, the Pac-12 network will continue to operate in 2024-25.
How?
Why?
The bigger question is why.
Okay, both how and why.
Look, who's your audience?
Who are your teams?
Who are those great games that you show nonstop?
Like what? There's only so many Oregon State moments you can show.
Right.
What am I missing?
Here's Ryan Leaf.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm a Mountain West team who they'll be playing, then give me some of that money because you just showed me for the whole year.
You know what? This is my go-to. Blame him. You did this.
I did not do this. I didn't do this. Is dumb. This is seriously getting an oil change on a rental car. There's no point to this. Just shut it down. There's nobody out there. Just admit defeat. It's almost like they want to say, no, we still have two teams. No, you don't. No one cares. These two teams were so bad that no one wanted them. They were the last picks, and people just said, screw it, we're done. We're just going to leave them to the side. The Big 12 didn't want you. Big 10 didn't want you. Nobody wanted you.
Please tell me it gets better from here.
Oh, we'll just start talking about some prospects here leading into the draft. So let's start with Tavondre Sweat. He weighed in today at 362 pounds, and some people are maybe believing he could be a Jordan Davis type. Is he an intriguing prospect for this draft?
I don't think that that's necessarily fair. Sweat has more disruption ability than Jordan Davis. I'm never going to label him a pass rusher, but he's better with his hands. He's got better quicks. I think he's a little bit more than just a dominant run stuffer. And here's the downside. He's nowhere near as good against the run as Jordan. Jordan Davis was all-time good.
Yeah.
I think Sweat's a more balanced player. But the weight will always concern you. You're drafting a guy who's the better part of 400 pounds. Like that's a bit of a concern.
But see, I'm never concerned about that because once you finally get to a team, you're going to have a nutritionist. You're going to have people around you. You can get it built into your contract so that if
like Zion.
Yeah, so that if it does become a problem, okay, we have an out. So, son, you can't eat your way out the league. But this is one where maybe structure helps you out. And when you're in competition with other top players, you want to do better. You want to eat better. You want to take better care of yourself. I've never been worried about that, David, because people are like, oh, well, look at the tape.
By the way,
I don't care how big he is, he disrupts. And if you could put him, he may never be a superstar. Hold on. He may never be a superstar, but if you put him next to somebody else, that's one of those lines where you're like, man, nobody's getting through there.
How does a guy 366 pounds have a 26-inch vertical jump?
Once again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the weight because he's athletic. He's a freak of nature.
That's crazy.
Okay? He just rewards himself with a couple extra oatmeal cream pies.
Let's get over here to talk about Chop Robinson. Many people believe that he is
That's Mr. Pork Chop Robinson.
Really good defensive end, but he never quite amounted to what was expected to be a premier pass rusher in college. Thoughts on him as a very intriguing prospect for the draft.
Likes him better than I do. I'm not really impressed with him. So for me, I'll stay out of this.
Not to be married to a particular person, but like if he's there at 29 and if the Lions have that pick, I would not be angry. I don't think that Penn State utilized him the way that he is, and I do think that he can be an edge rusher. He's a guy that you put opposite of Aiden. It's the guy that we said, get Aiden a playmate. That's a playmate. He can be explosive. And kind of like Aiden, he may never be the alpha, but those two together could be dangerous. He's never going to be a Bosa type where you can't just stop him.
If I'm reading
He's not Myles Garrett.
If I'm reading this right, measured just a smidge over 6 feet tall, 254. That doesn't do it for me.
That's the thing because he was listed at 6'3".
Yeah, that don't do it. Yeah, and Antoine Randall was listed at 5'10". He was 4 feet tall.
Well, don't forget, Peppers was 6'2".
I know. Hey, look, man. I'm just saying, 6 feet, 254.
Once again,
little dicey.
I look at the tape. He was able to get to the quarterback. He was able to do a lot of things. And he did it under false pretenses, he was still the same size at Penn State, able to get to the QB.
Well, then let's talk about the next guy here, and that is Jared Verse. Can he match up what he does at the combine to his tape and be the best edge rusher in the draft?
Yes.
That's it. Now that's Mike's guy. I'll leave it to the senator from Troy, New York.
It's some bias. I just think physically insane profile. He was one of those hyper-productive D1 AA players at UAlbany, and then he went to Florida State, and he just kept on doing it. Like, he's got the requisite physical. I would worry about a 6 foot, 254-pound guy. I don't worry about Jared Verse. I have a hard time believing he'll get past 15. And if Brad Holmes were going to do the whole move-up thing, Verse would be one of those dudes I would do it for, because I think he's a bit of a freakazoid.
Okay, all right. Well, let's
I love him.
Get to a couple defensive backs here. One is Cooper DeJean, who is coming off an injury.
Broken leg, to be specific.
And then someone who was considered the top corner going into the season for the draft, which is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Let's talk about both of those guys and if there's anything they can do to elevate themselves.
Well, I think it's both guys have value because they help you on special teams too.
I was just about to say that.
But DeJean's got to show you he's back from a broken leg, measurables, how fast does he run? Kool-Aid is a puzzle. Has all the measurables, has all the athleticism, and went to Alabama. Yet, never really jumps out at you when you watch Alabama.
The funny thing is, I think Cooper DeJean is the safer of the two picks. He broke his leg. Rehab it. You can get him back up there. Maybe he's a fraction of a second slower. You never know. But the fact that you could put him in the defensive backfield and you could also have him returning kickoffs and punts, it helps a lot. He's elusive. He has that joystick factor, especially if they change the kickoff rules in the NFL where you can now return them again. For Kool-Aid, yeah, it's one of those, you had so much hype, and he maybe it's our fault because we hyped him up and he just could never live up to it. And now we're disappointed because he's not as good as we all thought he was going to be.
So let's touch on this guy here, considered a man amongst boys for many of his college years. I believe he's a top 5 talent in the draft, may not go in the top 5, but let's tight end from Georgia, Brock Bowers.
What is there to say? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why I look at mock drafts now and he's not in the top 6. He's not a tight end. He's like Kyle Pitts with polish. And he's a vertical threat. It's the downfield stuff. It's the route running. I mean, Georgia in many instances, and Kenny would confirm this, Rico will confirm it, they're splitting Bowers out wide and running wide receiver routes with him where he's running, like a deep post corner and putting double moves on guys. He's unbelievable.
He is, but you know what he is? He's a luxury pick. If you're drafting that high, man, you need an offensive lineman or you need a quarterback or you need something. You don't have we could just take this guy. It's not like all of a sudden. So let me ask this. Like the Chiefs.
Let me ask you a question. Bears take Caleb Williams number 1 and they're coming back at 9. What better way to help your new franchise quarterback than to put Brock Bowers on the same field with DJ Moore?
Yes.
Yeah, you would do that?
No. But see, the thing is, Bears need offensive linemen. Got to protect that quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I had to ask.
No.
Had to ask.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a luxury pick. Now, if the Bears already had an established line, are you crazy? Yes. To me, I don't see how he gets past Harbaugh and the Chargers. That seems perfect. You give Herbert this toy and say, here you go, son. Let's go win. But that's why I think he's sliding, because then you get to after the 10th pick, those teams will take the best available. And that's where he could go. Like I said, if it was one of those years where one of the playoff teams happened to own a pick, he would be gone.
Here's what he needs. All right, there's no declaration yet of whether he's going to run the 40 now or pro day. He needs to run a wicked 40, and I need to see if he measures out north of 6'4". Because, again, Rob Gronkowski was a freakazoid because he was 6'6", 6'7", right? If Bowers measures shorter than the listed 6'4", that's a problem, because then I'm with Rico. Then you're just a big wide receiver. You're not a unicorn. The unicorn is Bowers comes in and measures 6'4.5". With the speed, the tape matches up.
I've never understand why not just put the real height?
Why lie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like
I don't know.
you're gonna get exposed. It's like, who does this? It's like when the pro day, I always subtract. Oh, he ran a 3.9. Really? Because he just ran a 5.2.
That is in football today.
Bell. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 wager. That's $150 if your bet wins. And if it's the NBA, live SGPs, exclusive props, more betting markets than anyone else. FanDuel.com/ticket. That's FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms, sportsbook.fanduel.com. You got a gambling problem, just call 1-800-270-7117.
Brought to you by Lady Jane's. The Lions are reportedly meeting with Amon-Ra St. Brown's representation at the Combine this week to negotiate a contract extension. St. Brown's rookie deal expires after this season. He's due to become one of, if not the highest paid receiver. St. Brown was second in the NFL with 119 catches this past season, third with 1,515 receiving yards, made the All-Pro first team. The current highest paid receiver, by the way, Miami's Tyreek Hill, who signed a 4-year, $120 million deal 2 years ago. Wings and Islanders skating tonight on 97.1 The Ticket, coverage starting at 6:45. Detroit going for its 7th straight win. And elsewhere in the NHL, the Flames sent defenseman Chris Tanev to the Stars as part of a 3-team trade earlier today. Tanev, whose contract is expiring, was considered to be the best player available this trade deadline, relevant to the Wings, whom many expect to improve their defense. Detroit ranks 20th defensively, surrendering 3.15 goals per game. Wings have been markedly better, though, since the calendar changed, allowing just 2.6 per game in 2024. That's tied with Edmonton for the 6th best over that span. A lot of that courtesy of Alex Lyon, who's 13-4-2 with a .912 save percentage since 2024 started. And Michigan basketball at Rutgers tonight. Hear it on WWJ News Radio 950. Coverage starts at 8. At the Corwell Health Update Desk, I'm Beanie Howell. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, 3 o'clock. Let me reset where we're at, and then I'm going to get right to the phones. So we've been having some fun with it. Bleacher Report, Jordan Schultz saying Jared Goff's getting 40 to 45 mil a year on an extension when it happens. Spot Track, which is a sports, salary cap contract site, do a very nice job. They wrote an expansive piece predicting what free agents will get. Jared Goff, 4 at 180. 45 a year. So Rico and I said, okay, if we're going down the aisle, speak now or forever hold your peace. Now, we only had one ding-a-ling in hour one. Look, if you don't want Jared Goff and you just say, look, I don't believe he can ever win a Super Bowl. Okay, you have a right to the opinion. You want to say you want something better, fine. I just think you don't recognize what it'll be like if you don't continue down this road. But that's fine. What we're not going to do is stupid stuff. Please don't call up and just be like, well, we'll play Hendon Hooker. Please don't do that. Jared Goff at $45 million a year is a value. It's a value because the highest paid QBs make almost 20% more than that. And with the salary cap moving up, quarterback salaries are going to skyrocket. I think you're going to see $60 million quarterbacks very soon. And by the time Goff's deal is in its last year or two, you could see quarterbacks making 70 with a $300 million cap. Yours would be making 45. That is a value.
Who would be the first quarterback to make 70?
Mahomes.
Huh.
I mean, Burrow's at 55.5.
But I got to figure when's this Mahomes contract?
Right, but they'll redo it.
Oh.
See, there's the key.
See, I think Mahomes is going to go the way of Brady, where he's just going to stay cheaper and cheaper.
And again, what can't you buy at 50? Right. What difference does it make? So I'm with you. I'm just saying.
C.J. Stroud.
This is look, man, numbers are going to go crazy. Mm-hmm. This is a value. And you have to, look, I get it. It's a hell of a lot of money. But this is what the going rate for quarterbacks is. And if I rank it out, if you paid him $45 million, he's still not a top 10 quarterback salary-wise. It would be an incredibly fair deal. Whether you're happy with it or not, I leave to you. 248-539-9797. David, if you take a text and then we get to the people.
Love the asking price. Perfectly fair. Won't generate a controversy or be a distraction from us getting to business and signing other players. It's asinine to pay Goff. Would rather trade him for draft picks and ride with Hooker.
Okay, time out. Just so we're clear. You want to take a Pro Bowl quarterback who had you up 17 in the NFC title game. You want to get rid of him, play a third-round pick off a blown ACL, sight unseen, who didn't play in a pro-style offense in college. And you want to put the fate of the entire franchise that you've waited your entire life to be good, and that's your plan. That's the equivalent of loading your life savings and putting it all on black. That's movie stuff.
Wait, that's not a good idea.
That's actually terrible.
Matt from Garden City
Put
says...
on the gray horses.
Genetically faster.
Matt from Garden City says, you have to pay Goff now. What if he goes out and wins the Super Bowl next year? Then you're going to pay him $60 million a year. No, thank you. I'll sign him now.
Let me ask this question, though. Would anyone care? If that played out, and I've said this, I'll say it again. I think Pat made a very good point. I heard him this weekend say it. If you want to wade this out, if you win the Super Bowl, nobody cares afterwards because the meteor takes us all out. It just doesn't matter. But if you waited, let's say you waited and you have that franchise tag and you go, look, I'm willing to commit 2 years to Goff. I don't want to go 3 or 4. In essence, you would be paying him a 2-year deal. He would play the last year, then there'd be a bloody battle for the franchise tag, and you would have to hope it doesn't tear your locker room up and it doesn't besmirch your reputation around the league with free agents.
Right.
But you can do it. I don't subscribe to it. I just feel differently. Let's go to the people. See what Ron's got to say. 97.1. Ron, how are you? I got to find the right button here. Where are we? Oh, that's line 8. I got it. Ronnie, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Oh, my God, you guys are cooking today. Well, before I get started, did you call that other caller a bitch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, because nothing angers me more than all I say is, can you give me a minute to ask you a question? And you hang up like a little kid. It's ridiculous. We're talking sports. We're not talking about our policy with Russia or the Ukraine. Just take a pill.
Oh, you guys are cooking today, man.
Damn.
So what I want to say is 40 to 45 million. Hey, that's a great deal. That's great. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think this means that they think Hendon Hooker's a bust or anything like that. You got a Pro Bowl quarterback, just like you said. We got a really good team. I think if Goff goes down, Hendon Hooker may be able to come in and win you a game or two. You never know how he develops. So, but we're giving it time. So we're giving everything time to play out. So it's a good deal. And if you get down the road 2-3 years later, if you want to reset the way you're looking at the market and what you guys are saying, 40, 45 million, we could still trade them if that was the case. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it gives you time to do everything and still time to sign other players and get the team better. So
yeah, and Ron, therein lies the key. The cap going up, while it will have some artificial increase in the marketplace, the cap going up for your concerns with your players, look at your cap table. 8th most amount of room this year. Mm-hmm. You go into next season currently constituted as having about $115 million in commitments on a cap that, let's say, mildly increases to $260. Do the math. The year after, you've got like $45 million in commitments for a cap that will go up, let's be very conservative again, to $270. And the year after, you have Rico's right shoe and a $10 bill. And the cap might be up damn near 300, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear
that's conservative.
I don't want to have to hear we don't have the money to go after this.
Because here it is. If the gambling money kicks in and like it did this year, you're looking at maybe $300 million next year. Look at where it jumped from last year to this year.
I just make the modest increase just so you can not have an argument with people where you're just like, look, even modest increases, look where it's headed. And, of course, increase cap, it bleeds over to increase player salaries. But if you're doing it the way the Lions are doing it, which is they want to draft and develop, then you have all the ability in the world to take calculated shots on big money contracts. Yeah. Your quarterback, unless you're drafting C.J. Stroud and you're in that 5-year window, unless you have that, everybody else, you find a quarterback you think's good enough to win a Super Bowl and you pay them. It's just it's the only way. Otherwise, you're in the wilderness like Atlanta. You're in the wilderness like the Giants. You're in the wilderness like
Wait,
the
wait, wait.
Steelers.
So you're saying you pay Brock Purdy the money?
No, absolutely not. Hey, man, if you watched your playoff run and you still think he's anything other than just a guy, God bless. We'll do like we do at church. Here, peace be with you. I'll shake your hand.
Right. If he comes in asking for 60, no, but I'm going to pay him. He's your quarterback.
This isn't KNBR.
I know.
And we're not doing this show.
I just wanted to hear what you had to say about it after you just said you got to pay your quarterback, except that his last name is Purdy.
Ratzlaff Gudas. Come on, Kenny. All right, go ahead.
Let's talk about the Chevy dealer in the area leading the way. Hamilton Chevrolet in Warren at 14 Mile and Mound. Hey, rev up to drive to unbeatable deals at Hamilton. Andrew and the sales staff want to be your Chevy dealer. It's time to hit the road in style. Hamilton is your go-to destination for top-notch vehicles and savings. Sleek, powerful cars ready to conquer the roads. And Hamilton Chevy has them all, from fuel-efficient compacts to rugged SUVs. They got wheels to match your lifestyle. And with Hamilton, you know you're getting excellence. It's not just about selling cars. It's about delivering an unmatched driving experience. They're more than just a dealership. It's a commitment to quality and customer satisfaction. And right now, take advantage of the February Rico deal. Leap year is here. We got the leap day. A 2024 Chevy Blazer LT for $269 a month for 24 months. You better get in there today to guarantee that you get a 2024 Chevy Blazer LT, $269 a month for 24 months. Just walk in there with $995 down. You'll drive off with 10,000 miles a year. The best deals are found at 14 Mile and Mound. Go see my guys at Hamilton Chevrolet for details. More at HamiltonChevy.com. Together, let's ride.
All right, the weather's absolutely nuts. I understand. 73, the next day it's 23. Then you got storms blowing your house down. When you need service on your furnace or your AC, and you need it now, you need Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. They have you covered 24/7. Locally owned for over 40 years. They back their work with a 5-year warranty. And Mastercraft, your one-stop shop for heating, AC, plumbing, and electrical. Plenty of generators in stock and on sale as well. If Mastercraft can't get to you same day, they're going to take 25% off that next day visit. Just visit mastercraftheating.com. Straight to the people, Goff contract projection 4 at 180. Speak now or forever hold your peace, and you let these kids walk down the aisle and get married and enjoy their lives. I need to hear a credible reason why not at $45 million a year. I've given you all the contextual evidence I can, given you the cap table, given you the contracts around the league. Man, if they get him for $45 a year, that is first of all, it's a great job by Brad Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
But it would also mean Jared Goff. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, if they paid me $45 million. I know. I'm not turning him into a martyr. I'm just saying, good job by Goff. This is a good situation. They stuck with you. You stuck with them. You don't need the extra 5 to 7. Put good players around me. All right, I got my money.
Well, speaking of good players around you, let me give you a quick update here. Dave Burkett is reporting that the Lions and Amon-Ra St. Brown's representatives are set to meet this weekend at the Combine.
That's my boy.
That's your guy.
Pay him whatever he wants. Give him whatever he wants. Give him ownership of the team.
Not a penny over $20 million a year.
Yeah, right. I got news for you.
Okay. After that, no.
Look, but this is the same thing. Top of the league is Tyreek at $30 a year, right? I wouldn't blink. I'm not acknowledging you. I wouldn't blink if they paid Amon-Ra $25 a year. Just wouldn't blink. Consummate professional, durable, tough, a top 5 player at his position, and you never have to worry about the work. You never got to worry about the nonsense.
Oh, no.
You never got to worry about OTAs, about training, about showing up. The dude's a dog. Pay him whatever it takes.
No, I'm with you. Here's where I'm not big in paying wide receivers that amount of money. Now, he's earned it. He's a professional. Team looks up to him. He gets the job done. I just asked that the Lions start treating him like that, and he doesn't disappear in fourth quarters. You run plays to this man and get him the ball.
What if the $7 million you'd be saving on Goff, or $5 million you save on Goff, is absorbed by what you're paying Amon-Ra? Let's say they came to a deal and he got 23 a year. You're really paying him 18 based on what you saved at the quarterback spot.
Yeah. And my thing is this, especially for Goff and for St. Brown, I'd front load those contracts so that the back end, if something happens, it's not that big of a cap hit. So because you're not paying anybody except for those two,
I'm backloading.
I'm front loading.
I'm backloading so I can spend more now. I'm all in, man.
No.
I want to parade down.
No. Because you got the increase in the salary cap, that's your spend more now already. So you were already under the cap. So take that money, pay those two, and then take your free Christmas bonus money and go get somebody. Yeah. But front load those deals so that when you got to pay Aiden and you got to pay all those guys, like at that point, maybe St. Brown is only costing you $15 million that year because you've paid him already.
David, tremendous update. Pay Amon-Ra whatever he wants.
Yes, for people who think I hate, I don't like paying. Kind of how you guys feel about running backs. That's how I feel about wide receivers. You just don't pay them. There's only a handful that I'd be willing to do that.
Okay, but Amon-Ra against man coverage is uncoverable. You can't cover him. You can move him around, catches a football, tough as the day is long. He's not a diva. I guess I just don't even view him like a wide receiver. I view him as an awesome football player. I have to have you. You're culturally relevant to what I'm doing.
Here's
here.
the thing. If you're going to make that much money, then I need to see a boombox when you come out the locker room.
Yes.
I need a boombox.
Honolulu Blue boombox.
Penei Sewell holding it
Yes.
as Amon-Ra is walking down the tunnel.
I'm in. I'll supply it. Tell me where they got it.
To Eminem's Lose Yourself.
I'll buy the boombox if they'll walk out of the tunnel with it. I would love it. Let's go to Tyler, 97.1. Tyler, and if you have thoughts, by the way, on the Amon-Ra thing, please dial in. Tyler, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
So, a couple weeks ago, I did text in. You guys didn't read it. All good. But I didn't want to pay Goff any more than $45 million to begin with because I wanted to see if he was actually a guy that was willing to take a hit for the team and say, this is where I want to be. If he wanted $50 million, I would still have no problem with it, but I didn't want to pay him more than $45 because I wanted to see if he was a team player. Does he really love the city of Detroit? He's coming back at 40 to 45. He's a team player. He wants to be here. He is our quarterback. So, David, stop reading texts about Hendon Hooker. I don't want to hear it.
You and me both, Tyler. You and me both. I think the Hendon Hooker thing's absurd.
I understand why they drafted him to begin with. He was a backup plan in case Goff decided to just crap the bed all over the place this past season, but he didn't. He was just a backup plan. But the people that want to see Hendon Hooker over Jared Goff,
Nuts.
You guys are idiots.
They're insane.
Stop.
Tyler, I don't get it either. Listen, for me, if he signs at 45, I think, A, the town would go crazy because you're seeing someone taking a little bit less to be here. And B, you'll feel better every day you wake up when you see these other quarterbacks getting paid and you go, this is not a steal, but this is a value contract.
That's a good way of putting it. Value. You got your guy. It's not going to hurt you. And down the line, you'll be fine. So,
where do I get those boomboxes?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the Lions agree to it, I'll buy it. I'd love to see the Lions rocking out, like with Debo bringing the boombox out on the field. Let's do that.
Get Sewell, that rocket like Trent Williams, and you just kick the door open.
I like it. I'm in. I think it'd be amazing. Go to Andre.
But they have to win, though, not lose like the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, that's a shot. Andre, how are you?
Do something in the playoffs.
And Andre. And Andre's gone. 248-539-9797.
I would not be smack talk by a Steeler fan. Okay? I'm just not.
Especially one who's about to have Russell Wilson as their quarterback.
No, I don't know.
David coming in eating his sandwiches sideways.
Oh, it is dangerous. All right, let's go to Butch. 97.1. Butch, what's going on?
How you guys doing?
Good, hey, Butch. What's up?
Here's one for you, Mike. I know you're jaded on Hooker, but here's a little bit of the New England scenario.
Okay.
What happens if, like, say, game 2 next year, Goff twists his ankle. He's out for 4 weeks. You bring in Hooker, and you find out he's lightning in a bottle. Now he's winning. Goff can't really come back after 4 weeks. Let's say it's 5 weeks. Hooker's still winning. Now, when he's healthy, do you pull Hooker out and bring Goff back in, or do you let him keep riding?
So
I would go ahead. Let me add something. Let me add something, Mike.
Okay.
I would re-sign Goff for 4 years right now at say between 40 and 45, and then don't let this. This is you understand what I'm saying.
All right, so I've re-signed Goff, and you're telling me he misses a substantial part of the year. Hendon Hooker played great in his stead. You're asking me, I'm giving Goff his job back.
Okay, say Hooker takes it all the way to the playoffs, and we're like in the wild card, no, not past the wild card position. If we're there, do you still bring Hooker out and put Goff in?
Yes, he is my franchise quarterback, and you're not losing your job because of injury. The only scenario where if you want to comp it out, like when I was a kid, Phil Simms got hurt week 13. Broke his ankle. He was unavailable. Jeff Hostetler took him to a Super Bowl. It's how it works. If you wanted to go something more
you're
new wave.
You're not going to do the Kaepernick, Alex Smith, where you got injured, took your job, and you kind of just rode with it?
I guess my opinion of Jared Goff is way higher than my opinion of Alex Smith.
No, I think that's where he was going with. Like,
That's
if
fine.
all of a sudden Hendon Hooker,
Let me ask a
Lions go 7-0.
Why are we doing that hypothetical? Should we play out hypothetical scenarios where you're engaged to Beyonce? I mean, equally as likely as what he's selling.
I mean, I do look better than Jay-Z.
Fair. You're aging much better. The point I'm making is, why are we doing this hypothetical?
I guess this caller was trying to see at what point would you say, yes, Hendon Hooker is the guy.
There is no point. Not as long as I have Jared Goff, who's my franchise quarterback. There's just no point. Now, if you haven't signed
I think
him,
that's why he was trying to find your breaking point. Okay, if he goes on a 7-game winning streak, I got to leave him in there. And I think that would be radio gold for us.
Sure.
But, yeah.
All right, elevate your driving experience. Moran Buick GMC, the 24 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation Edition. You get a 2.7-liter Turbo Max engine, 4-wheel drive, 20-inch wheels, and a whole lot more. 24-month lease for only $295 a month. New stock arriving daily with MoranExpress.com. They've got the vehicle you're looking for. Yukon's in stock as well. If something's wrong with the current vehicle, MoranExpress.com. You get the certified service. You get the loaner. You go about your day. It's fast. It's easy. It's MoranExpress.com at Moran Buick GMC, where you always get the best price, period. It's on Telegraph, just north of Eureka and Taylor, or at MoranExpress.com. Moran Buick GMC, we are professional grade. All right, we've got a lot left to do. We've got some Izzo audio we're going to play for you in the 4 o'clock. We'll do one segment on it because I think we've absolutely reached defiant bitter stage. I was just, it's funny. Like I look at, a lot of things don't make sense, right? We're talking about this Goff stuff. I look at 4 at 180. You understand what the big-time quarterback deals are, 250 and up. Hell, Mahomes got 500. I just look at it as good business. But it's like, you know what I compare it to? Like, did you see the news story today? There's a BP executive who is now facing 5 years in jail and millions of dollars in fines because he was listening to his wife's conversation and investing based on what she was talking about. So he can face 5 years in jail for doing that, but members of Congress can brazenly go out and both sides of the aisle, don't play that game with me, and routinely beat the brakes off the market, and not just by 1% or 2%. We're talking some of these cats with 50, 60, 80, 100% gains. They sit on some of these boards. They make policy. They have all the insider trades. So what, Nancy Pelosi gets to do whatever she wants to do and just have old Paulie boy do the investment? And there's nothing that happens but this executive in his own 4 walls of his home. So what? He was listening to his wife's phone call. What if they talked over Brussels sprouts? What's the difference? Why is he up for 5 years, but all these members of Congress continue to rip everybody off blind? It's the same as the Goff thing. It don't make no sense.
I was about to say, where we going with this?
I'm making a point that certain times in life, stuff don't make any sense.
Like, welcome to America?
But how can people, I don't understand. There's no other side of it. It's wrong. Arguing that somehow Jared Goff 4-180 is this horrendous, egregious use of money.
Because everybody, thanks to fantasy football and now sports betting, you think that you're a general manager and you try to manage the team how you think is fit. And it's why, Brad Holmes laughs at us when we say, hey, I would pick this guy. Well, I wouldn't, and I didn't. I picked this guy because I'm the actual GM here in Detroit, not you radio guy or not you caller. So because we all pick our own teams, we all think we're smart.
But certain times, it's not you versus anybody. There's just what's right. That's it. Goff 4-180's right in the absence of a better solution. Members of Congress not being allowed to have their kids or husbands or wives. Oh, and by the way, openly shape policy, use insider trading to make money. There is no other side. It's wrong. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to throw Jared Goff out the window, you're wrong. It's the same thing. What's your solution? A 3rd-round pick that you don't know? If the Lions were drafting at the top of the draft this year and Jared Goff was coming off a torn labrum, these conversations are different. Then it's Caleb Williams or Goff. Trade pick, make pick. It's different. Your quarterback's coming off the best season a Lions quarterback has had basically in 30 years. And back-to-back years of Pro Bowl caliber play. Not a bit of drama, not a bit of noise. Respected in that facility, in that front office, in that locker room.
And he looks like a guy that appreciated the second chance. He appreciated the fact that the coach and the GM and the city backed him. And you know what? I think deep down, he may not say it publicly, but I think he likes the fact that all of a sudden his name's being chanted at grocery stores. His name's being chanted at the Red Wings game when they're winning. And it's all of a sudden just Jared Goff rings out through the stand.
Because it's everything he didn't get in L.A.
Right.
It's just like, I can't believe you have a conversation. It's like you can't believe certain things are real. I can't believe what Congress gets away with, and I can't believe this dissent about Jared Goff. It's just, you're like, I'm not a crazy person.
Because Jared Goff, to some people, Mike, he's doing it, but he's not prototypical quarterback. He's not fun quarterback. Jared Goff wins.
Fun is
he's not fun.
Scoring and points.
No, but fun is Jalen Hurts and the Philly brotherly shove, and fun is Tua. That's fun.
How many
fun is
Super Bowl?
Fun is Lamar Jackson. throwing a pass to himself and then running 20 yards.
Fun. Yeah, Lamar in the playoffs. Yeah, fun.
Fun. Okay, I didn't even want to go, but fun is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, he's Michael Jordan.
No, but that's fun watching him knowing, he's about to beat you.
Let's go to
fun
D.
is watching Josh Allen run into a line. He's not fun. He wins. He's not fun.
DJ 97.1.
What up, though? My guy.
The wellness check. There he is. We thought this team killed you, DJ.
No, man, no. Just then got back to work, and I'm not a big hockey and Tigers fan. But I just happened to turn the radio on today. Heard y'all talking about this. Thought I was gonna hit you and my dog Rico. Had to say what's happening, man. So look, what's going on here, Mike? Number one, I'm with you. $45 million. That's right about because it's tiers to everything. Tier 1 would be Mahomes and the kid in Cincinnati. If they make him 55 or 60, whatever, I get it. He is right at $45 million because he's at the middle or low end of tier 2 for me. But here's what's happening with fans, Mike. The Lions are in a situation where our best player, Pro Football Focus says it, and I've been saying it, is Penei Sewell. He's our best player. He's actually one of our leaders. Amon-Ra Brown is our best player as well. He's like the second best player right there with Penei Sewell.
Yep.
And it's not golf. So because it's not the quarterback, people are like, well, why are we paying him the most or some outrageous numbers when, like, you just explained it to him? That's not outrageous. It's tier 2. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's where a lot of this pushback is coming from. Number 2, and I'm going to let you have this. The Lions' whole identity and what a lot of people are seeing, too, is like without being said, Mike. The Lions' identity is that offensive line. So it's a lot like the Redskins in the 80s where people are saying that offensive line is the identity. And they're looking like, well, hell, the Redskins won 3 Super Bowls with Williams, Theismann, and Rippon with a quarterback who was all right with that offensive line. So that's what's happening to golf, Mike. Not fair.
No, and look, I think as long as you kept him out of being one of the 5 to 7 highest paid quarterbacks in football, you were getting some level of fairness. If he's outside the top 10, top 11, top 12, that's a steal. Not a steal, it's a value. A steal is, hey, I've got CJ Stroud and I'm paying him in, shoes. That's different. That's a steal. But yeah, DJ, no, I hear you. It just gets frustrating because you've waited your whole life. I've been here for over 20 years now, and it's like you've waited to have stability at quarterback, where a quarterback and a team actually got things done, and it wasn't stat pad for
No. But the problem is it's not the quarterback that you wanted because from day one, we made fun of him. He's got tiny hands. He's a Band-Aid. He's not going to be this. And he just kept beating the odds. And now he is that guy where a lot of fans, Lions fans, never embraced him from day one. He was only going to be the stopgap until we could go out and draft our version of a Caleb Williams, our version of a Justin Fields, our version of a Jalen Hurts.
And the reason I struggle with this is that I was one of those people. I had no desire to keep Jared Goff. But once he got here, we were doing those shows. I said, I wiped the slate clean. Let's see what he's got.
But Mike, you're educated and you can change, and not a lot of people can change. They can't.
It's just crazy because he's giving you everything you want.
I know, but when some people get something, they have to die on a hill to be right. They'd rather be right than actually see what's in front of them. What's in front of you is your quarterback of the future is right here. Now, I picked up on that the second he got extended. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's not a Band-Aid. He's going to be here for a while. Got made fun of. Doesn't matter. Here's the thing. A lot of fans saw him as a Band-Aid, and they can never see him as anything else but a stopgap. And now we're about to overpay for somebody because when Hendon Hooker came in, oh, that's the guy. That's who they really wanted. No, he was drafted to be a backup. I think it's a huge mistake, but that's a Brad Holmes thing, not a my thing.
248-539-9797. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 wager. That's $150 if your bet wins. You can bet on all your favorites. Maybe the NBA's your deal. Live SGPs, more prop betting markets than anyone. It's FanDuel.com/ticket. That's FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and up, present, Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Now trouble bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, simply call 1-800-270-7117. All right, let's take a quick TO. We'll get to some football, combine rolling, players actually doing combine things. David, a little music, please.
All right, guys, let's have a little fun.
Oh, God.
What?
It's him?
Hi.
These are always ball breakers. All right, I got to up my game here.
Hi, it's me again.
Hi.
All right, from the number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson pretty much was told to hit the bricks. 5 teams that he could possibly go to. How the mighty have fallen.
All right, and this is in a backup role.
Yes, I was about to surprise you, but yes, all 5. The Buffalo Bills.
I don't hate it.
You can go back up Josh Allen.
That's fine.
The Kansas City Chiefs. You can go back up Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my God.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Hi, you can go back up Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Rams. You can back up Stafford. Now, here's one where he may actually want to go to.
What?
Because you may have a chance. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they're rudderless at quarterback. But no, look, Zach Wilson, all right, terrible go of it with the Jets. I'd argue, the Jets really didn't do enough to help him, and the kid did a lot to not help himself.
Is there anything left on the bone with him?
Maybe. I mean, hell, dude, the NFL has employed people who've killed people before. Zach Wilson's crime is he was bad at football. So, yeah. You give it a spin, you bring him to camp, and you can easily cut him.
Thought you were going to say something else when you used the word B. So,
well,
he pretty much is a big game hunter with Cougars. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh,
rumor has it, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is now going to get franchised. One of the teams is the Miami Dolphins.
Hate it.
Is that a good fit?
No, not. McDaniel's offense has always been predicated on speed, getting the edge, one step, foot in the ground, cut up field. No. I don't need some aging 400-pound running back in my McDaniel's offense is the old razzle-dazzle. Show me Derrick Henry in Baltimore, you got my attention. Hell, show me Derrick Henry in Philly, you got my attention. No, I don't like that at all.
Okay. David?
No, it makes no sense, and Mike's right. Everybody's on speed, so no, I'm good.
Maybe he's the Thunder
there?
to A-Chain, where you could just.
What about Mostert?
They don't need thunder. They just need lightning.
More lightning.
All right. It looks like, and there's no support for something that a play that Mike can't stand. But the tush-push Philly shove.
I know.
Looks like this is going to keep going on. They don't see an advantage that Philadelphia has over anybody else. So much so, not even on the docket.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'm not going to yell at clouds and have to listen to you hyenas. You know how I feel about it. David, you talk.
Then that must mean that Jason Kelce is actually retiring because he hates this thing. I guess whatever. They're not going to vote for it, not even put it up there.
I don't have a problem with it because every team can run it. It's not like it's proprietary to just Philadelphia and you got to pay a copyright fee if you run this play.
It's a rugby play. It's not a football play. And you know what else is not fun? Watching it. It's the most dull, boring waste of 90 seconds. You know the teams are getting it. There's no effective way to stop it.
See, here's the thing. I'm surprised that here in Detroit, Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson haven't come up with a way. But think of how many times they go for it all the time. Imagine if they became a master of this play. I think this town would have a hold. They would love it because it means on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, you already know what the play is going to be.
Well, hell, I bet the town does love it. I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't. I hate it.
All right. Combine is going on. Is it possible that in the interview sometimes you don't have to be as honest as you have to be? Like sometimes you can just answer a question, but you don't have to take it to the next step. Well, here's where I'm going with this, David. Texas Tech defensive back Tyler Owens, when asked a question at the Combine, says he does not believe in space or other planets. That a lot of the flat earth people have something that he believes in. He doesn't believe in space. He doesn't believe in other planets. He's a flat earther. Is that something that you just keep to yourself at the combine, where if somebody asks you a question like, guys, what does this have to do with football? Or you just, you know what? This is who I am. This is me.
An idiot.
I don't care what your tape looks like now. I'm not drafting you.
That's what I'm saying. Is this one of those
times
where...
Hold on. So if Caleb Williams comes to you and says, I believe the earth is do, you're not taking him?
That's the wrong name for me. You know I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams. I don't think he's the best quarterback.
If Jaden Daniels, if Brock Bowers, if Rakestraw. I mean, David, pick
I would
a
think
player.
about it. I would think about it and say, well, maybe I'm also believing what you believe because you can win me a Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah, somehow Rome Odunze slides down to 20th or wherever you guys pick. And he says, I am the president of the Flat Earth Club in Seattle.
You're about to pay Russell Wilson $30 million a year.
I'm not paying him anything.
Well, it's about to happen. And you know he's certified alien.
I think I know where you're going with this, Mike, but
Okay.
rumors are kind of like how Miguel Cabrera is always in the best shape of his life. Well, Aaron Rodgers is completely jacked, and he is ready for this upcoming season. He's worked on his upper body. What are our expectations for Aaron Rodgers?
Jets will be about a 500 team. He's old. He tore his Achilles, and this ain't a bikini contest. I don't really care. Why, is he still blasting his colon with olive oil?
I'm just saying.
I mean,
the
like,
reports
what are we
he's-
even doing here?
He's completely jacked.
Don't care. Sure, he'll he'll go to the tropics and do a bunch of tree bark and bleep himself. I don't care. The Jets are getting everything they deserve.
I just want the olive oil comment again. That's all I want.
All right, David brought up Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams probably going to go number one.
I heard that.
In the last 10 years, the first quarterback taken has not always been the best quarterback taken. So in the last 10 years, can you guys guess how many times that the preceding quarterbacks were actually better than the first quarterback selected?
Well, I mean, last year, for sure.
Yeah.
Stroud over Bryce Young. Josh Allen over Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. So that'd be 2.
And Lamar Jackson was in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good call. I'd say maybe once or twice the number 1 overall pick worked out.
Is it 10 years for Mahomes? Mahomes was the
Mahomes
best
is
in
in
that
there.
draft.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
3.
The Trubisky draft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not only, and Deshaun Watson was also in that draft.
About half then.
David is very close. Now, it's 5 or 6. Now, I think in this town, it may be a push because in 2016, Jared Goff was the number 1 quarterback. In the 4th round, Dak Prescott was taken. Dak actually won Rookie of the Year that year. Similar to what C.J. Stroud did to Bryce Young.
I have to, David, I can't argue him on it. By that metric, he's right. But I think we all know I'd rather have Goff than Dak.
So 6 times the first quarterback taken was not the best quarterback. 2 times it was the best quarterback. 2 times it was Trevor Lawrence. He's the best quarterback. Justin Fields, the only one that in that draft, and Joe Burrow. But that was probably a loaded draft.
But again, this is also now one of those years where you're allegedly getting a Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck type guy.
And for the record, 2019 and 2015 were kind of the push years. Jameis and Marcus Mariota in 2015. And 2019, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew.
Kyler Murray's better than those guys.
Is he, though?
He is.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
What is there, an F and echo in here?
Oh, and by the
yes.
way, in 2022, Pittsburgh selected Kenny Pickett with the
nice job
20th pick overall. He was the first quarterback taken. Happened to be another quarterback in that draft that took a team to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, David. He was drafted last. Want to take a guess?
Yeah. Rat Purdy out of Iowa
Take the
State.
stadium away now, Earthquake.
That's it. Oh, wait. There's
What?
more.
Why?
Real quick. No, Mike, you'll find this funny. Apparently, in the off-season, athletes and owners they get a little frisky. Not one, not two, but 3 paternity suits active right now. One, I think it's easy to take a guess.
Tyreek.
Yes. The second
Justin
one.
Jefferson.
Yes. Care to guess the third one? Not a player. It's an owner.
Not a
An
player.
owner?
It's an owner?
David Tepper. I don't know.
Dallas County judge orders Jerry Jones to take paternity test.
My God. Really?
Yes.
All right, Jarrah.
All right. 97-1.
Brought to you by Northville Lumber. College football leaders are considering a 14-team CFP model that would give the Big Ten and SEC 3 automatic qualifiers each, 2 to both the Big 12 and ACC, 1 to the group of 5, and 3 at large. The proposal is not finalized and, per Yahoo Sports, isn't the only option under consideration. Any new college football playoff format could not take effect until 2026 at the earliest. Tigers dropped 1 to the Red Sox in spring training today, 5-2. Bad day for reliever Will Vest, who gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. The Red Wings bring the Islanders to LCA tonight, going for their 7th straight W. Detroit could also tie the Maple Leafs for 3rd in the Atlantic Division. Wings and Islanders face off here on 97.1. Coverage starts at 6:45. And a Michigan college is the first to add flag football as a varsity sport. Siena Heights and Adrian will begin playing women's flag football in spring 2025. The NAIA, which is the governing body for the level of athletics at which Siena competes, has partnered with the NFL to expand flag football into colleges. Initiative has grown the sport to 31 schools so far, with 60 more in the pipeline. At the Corwell Health Update Desk, I'm Beanie Howell. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, we'll get the deal breakers at 4:15. Quick programming note. Odyssey.com Rewind, if you want our complete Jared Goff presentation, a projection on what his contract could look like, a prediction from a reporter, and I try to lay it all out as to why it would be a value. Can't say it's a steal. It'd be a value. I want to just play some audio. Rico and I got a chance to hear this. Now, you had heard it before I did. But Beanie in the update at 2, he played it. And while Beanie's talking, I just looked at you. And I can't say everything I said to you on the air. Mm-hmm. But I mouthed a couple things to you and just shook my head in disapproval. We have arrived at a certain place. I want to play for you some audio with Tom Izzo. And you can take a listen to this, and we're going to do one segment on this puppy, and then we're moving. But you guys know how we feel. All right? There is no one using the F word with Tom Izzo. But that doesn't mean you get to stay and burn it all down. The product is lousy. Product's been primarily lousy for 4 years. And whatever that was on Sunday against Ohio State, I'll call a coaching malpractice. Well, Tom Izzo is getting a little defensive about it, including the old, I haven't forgot how to coach, watch the film. Well, I'll tell you what. We can watch the film about the rebounding issues if you'll watch the last 11 minutes of your half-court offense. I want to play this for you. But this is how you know.
The old Bobby Ross. You think I coach that stuff?
I don't coach that stuff. This feeds Rico's point. This is not someone enjoying what they're doing right now. This is not someone who's excited to come to work every day. We have reached bitter, defiant, angry stage. Take a listen to this audio. Okay, first things first. It is not as if Matty Sissoko is a great rebounder. Can we just put that on the record? Second of all, no one's denying that Booker failed on a couple of box outs. We don't need a lecture. We watch. We're not that stupid. And it doesn't account for, okay, you made a trade-off that you wanted better rebounding. One problem, the game was falling apart. Mm-hmm. And you stuck points with it. Possession after possession after possession after possession. And if it wasn't for Walker's circus layup, what they score is like 5 points in the last 11 minutes. I'll tell you what, we'll watch the film of the box outs if you watch the film of your half-court offense or the lineup you put out on the court that was Sissoko, Cooper, and Carr. That's like the law firm of Roberto, Kenny, and David. It ain't gonna work. They can't score, and they don't have law degrees. Rico, what are we doing?
Like I said, Mike, he is feisty. He was loaded for bear. He was waiting for somebody to ask the question, and they were asking other things, and finally he just went off on Chris Solari. And no, just go ahead and ask with the question that everybody wants to know, because that tells me you screwed up. You made a mistake. And it's all right. You're a Hall of Fame coach. You don't have to double down and watch the film. Like when the Ohio State coach comes in and says, yeah, when Booker was in, we weren't able to do certain things. And then when he went out, we were able to do those things. He said that unsolicited before Izzo walked into the press conference. They were like, well, what was the difference? He was like, yeah, when Booker was out there, man, we couldn't do some things. Meaning he was a problem. And when you needed points, once again, if Mady Sissoko was out there getting rebounds like, Nick Ward or Xavier Tillman back in the day, okay, yeah, sure. But was he? I mean, he in the last few minutes of the game, he became a liability. With 3.4 seconds left on the shot clock, and he gets the ball underneath the basket, 8 feet from the basket. Instead of turning around and going up for a layup or some type of power move, he's playing hot potato, saying, hey, Tyson, help me out. Shoot this thing. I don't care how. I want no parts to this. That's a problem. But, yeah, he was ticked off. He was ready to answer the question, even though nobody was asking him the question. He just brought it up.
But there's no answer to it.
It's not.
And I hate to break it, no one cares. The reality is you've been outcoached. When they were in Minnesota, he got worked. They lose against Iowa. I'm sorry. It's the same deal. And that was outright malpractice against Ohio State. That's not to mention the team's going to end up losing 13, 14, 15 games this year.
I mean,
what are we talking about? You can't get angry when, look, no one is saying anything's the perfect answer. But you know what we have established? It can't be Mady Sissoko with Cooper next to him or with Cohen Carr in the game at the same time. It can't be.
Right. When you score 17 points, when you sit Booker down for the rest of the game, you score 17 points in the last 15 minutes, which is a little over a point a minute. That's bad. Last time I checked.
I've heard that.
Okay. So, yeah, you needed some offense. You were not going to ever get offense with Mady Sissoko. And I understand when the lead was a 12-point lead and you're just trying to milk the clock. But once it got below 5.
It's a game. It's time to score.
Right.
This is where I think Tom's greatest weakness is. It's just how I feel. He is two huge blind spots. Upperclassmen and defense. And no, don't think for a second I'd be pumped up giving up 95 a night. That's not what I'm saying. But Tom has never been willing to value the offensive side of the ball amidst one of the great offensive revolutions in the game's history. And he will always opt for, well, I need rebounding and defense. Well, the problem is this team doesn't rebound.
Right.
And Mady Sissoko's not that guy.
Right. Oh, and by the way, Booker got you 3 blocks. So it wasn't like he was just out there not playing defense.
It's also another thing where under a different time, different place, different school. Look, I've said this to you before. Guys like Booker can be more easily integrated in more forgiving offensive systems. I think if you play one of these 5-out deals, if you play a 4-out and you are willing to have your players out on the perimeter, and then we're running cuts and screens off of that, a Booker could more easily get involved there. Because look, from an energy standpoint, and what you said, rim protection, I can see a pathway. Look, is he going to get bodied here or there? Yes. Yeah. Is he going to screw up on and not appropriately box a guy out? Yes. But the upside and the ability for your guards to operate, this is what I can't understand. Why is he angry? Walker and Hoggard have nowhere to go because there's no spacing.
Right. He's angry because they lost, and this was one of those, he wanted to show that, yeah, this way is going to work, but it didn't work.
You know what? He ought to be angry at himself because he looked at the roster and he went, this is what I'm winning an Natty with. And it is blown up in his face because these bigs are killing this team. They are killing them. And no, maybe none of us and the average fan, none of us are John Wooden. But you know what? We know enough to identify floor spacing, to identify that when you are 30 games into a season and one guy has shown no ability to positively impact a game, I'm sorry.
No, Mike, here's the thing. If you're going to go the defensive route, you still had the wrong player.
Right, because Cooper's the better defensive center.
Carson Cooper is the better defender. He's the better rebounder. He's the guy that you want in the game. And occasionally he can make a layup or a dunk.
That's all. One segment. Just had to pass it along to the people. MSU's at Purdue Saturday. God help you if you watch it.
Rieger still seems to believe that MSU's winning that game. He bet me.
Just leave me alone.
All right. You know what? Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. They got a special leap day offer. Today's the last day because today is leap day. So right now, head over to Planet Fitness. If you were thinking about joining, you have no excuses. It only is going to cost you 29 cents to start. Get it? 29 cents for the 29th of February. 29 cents. Then after that, it's $10 a month. No commitment. But trust me, you're not going to want to cancel because at Planet Fitness, you can get a workout on, whether it's strength training, it's cardio. You say you don't have time, well, don't worry about it. You can get a full 30-minute workout with the 30-minute circuit at Planet Fitness. And all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training at no extra cost. 29 cents down. Today is the last day, folks. Head over to Planet Fitness right now. Just 29 cents down, $10 a month, no commitment. That's right. 29 cents and $10 a month. Hurry, because this offer ends today.
The perfect temperature to sleep, 68 degrees. What is not up for debate? The eco-friendly, most comfortable mattress on the planet. It's the iComfort Eco. Supportive, designed to keep you cool and comfortable. Or Serta's perfect sleeper for pressure-relieving comfort and support while maintaining a balanced sleep temperature. Serta mattresses, made in Michigan, have been for 110 years. Just go to Serta.com to find a retailer near you. All right. Against our better judgment, we do it every week at this time. Let's see if Roberto can have 2 good weeks in a row where it's not depressing. Last week was fun. It's time for Deal Breakers. And yet, the music remains. All right, Roberto, let's hear the situations that are on your mind.
Okay. let's try this one on for size. Here's the first one for you.
All right.
Your best friend is getting a divorce. He asked you to hold on to some cash for him that you assume he doesn't want his wife to know about. It's a large amount of money, and you know that he has 3 kids and his wife works 2 jobs. Are you comfortable holding on to the cash, or do you politely turn down the request?
Define it.
How much?
Yeah.
$15,000.
Nope. Anything in the 5 figures, you're asking for problems. Nope. I'm out. Love you like a brother. Ain't happening. I ain't hiding your money for mama.
Just a little manila folder. It's a little manila.
Nah. Little manila,
Little
big
manila.
problems. No.
That's Kenny's name, Little Manila.
Wow.
Yeah. Up until you said the 3 kids and she works 2 jobs.
That ain't right?
Here's the golden rule for me, and then we'll go to Kenny. The whole deal is you get older as an adult, don't ever involve other people, or in this case, don't you as a friend, don't ever involve me in your marriage.
Or cash.
No. Your marriage, your problem.
Right.
Don't bring that to my doorstep. You want me to hide money? No shot.
And I was going to say, for me, if you were married a year or less, and no kids, I'd probably help you out.
Let's go to a man who once stayed in an unhappy marriage for lunch meat.
For cold cuts.
Kenny Cobb.
That's right. For a fee of some sort, I think I could be talked into this.
Oh, you want a percentage?
I mean, you're asking me to take on a lot of risk
He's
here.
charging Vig.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
How many points? Didn't realize Kenny was a loan shark.
Right.
All right, David. Now let's see how pastors love to hold on to money.
Right. You put that in the building fund.
Stop it.
That second offering.
No, no.
Yeah, that after hours offering.
No, you can't do this.
Put a little Parmesan cheese on the communion wafers.
You can't do this. You cannot. And no, you have to say no. Especially if the kids are involved here. No,
Right. That's what I said with kids. Like David, if less than a year, especially if I never liked her in the first place, then yeah, I'm going to help you out.
I might understand that.
Right.
Look,
Less
I
than a
like
year,
how
no kids.
Rico uses a misery index as to whether he's going to help you enough.
Yeah, it truly is. Like
I don't like her. I'm taking
told
the
you-
money.
Told you never should have did this.
Oh, she was
And
a
kinda
sweetheart not helping you.
Yeah. That's the best thing that ever happened. Go fix it. Go make it work.
Roberto, number 2.
All right.
Hold on. What would you do? This is about you, isn't it?
I would talk to my brother.
Did you do this for Bobby Cavatelli, or what's
Well,
the
we
story
know it's
here?
not about me because I don't have any money.
Okay, then. Why don't we just go to the next one?
Okay. You've been dating a girl for a month that you met on a dating app, and things are getting serious. Whether she meant to or not, she reveals that prior to being with you, she had premium paid accounts on at least a dozen dating apps and went out on countless dates. You are afraid to ask how far these dates went, and it's starting to drive you crazy. Do you ask or leave it alone and not ruin a good thing?
This is where I think we got to go with the younger people. See, I'm not qualified to answer it because I was the pre-online craze. Like, we actually had to, talk to people.
Have game?
Kenny,
no. Here's the
Kenny,
thing.
do you want to hold on?
No.
Please.
I don't think it's any different for going out like, oh, you used to be a bar fly and you used to always hang out at bar. First of all, you had a life before me. So therefore, I don't care what you did. Now, if you're still doing it now, problem. But what you did before I got there, because you were on dating sites, and I don't really care.
Okay.
And
I wanted to get the
and here's
opinion
thing.
of someone who's used dating sites.
And don't
Kenny
look
Cobb.
at me that way, Roberto. Like, because my thing is this: if these guys were any good, you wouldn't be here with me right now.
I like that. But remember what I said: premium paid accounts.
And you didn't meet me yet.
All right. Kenny Cott, a man with several accounts on the social dating
Loves
scene.
to swipe right.
Yes, this doesn't bother me at all, not even a little bit, unless there's an obvious health concern. Then, I mean, if that's in play, then we're talking about something different. Exactly.
He went there.
Right.
I'm just saying, you got to be careful.
We're doing the whole Kumo D.
Okay. Oh.
3 days later.
Over to David.
Yeah, I know plenty of people that are happily married long time that found their person on the dating app. So premium site or not, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, so they went there instead of the bar. They did that instead of going out to the club
the only
or
thing,
whatever.
The only thing I need you to tell me if you dated one of my boys or a family member.
Someone close to me.
Other than that, I don't care.
I don't either.
What about like Office Space, a boss that you hated? She slept.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Kenny. Office Space. Another movie you can add to your list.
God's sake.
All right. Next.
All right. Now this one actually comes from the headlines.
Oh, okay.
This is an actual news story.
So you fall through the staircase of your deck, see?
With 2 solo cups in your hand. All right, this actually comes from the headlines, and if you want to get into the story, I have it pulled up here.
Okay, please.
You recently were at a fast food establishment and had to use the restroom. When you flushed the toilet exploded and covered you in sewage and waste.
Oh, no. I got a weak stomach. This would be bad.
Your attorney friend says you have a great case for a lawsuit. The fast food chain is willing to settle for $100,000. Is this enough? Big chain. Big chain.
Yeah, but what's the rule here? Like, can you settle and then no one's going to walk around with knowing you as poop guy?
I was about to say. And that's probably why I would settle. It would be an NDA. You won't be able to say what happened.
Yeah. Kenny doesn't want his picture in the paper being known as poop guy.
Why am I poop guy in this situation?
Well, because you're the one who eats fast food. It would be you sitting on that toilet.
I'm not sitting on no fast
Guys,
food
I
toilet.
can't come in. Why? Toilet explosion.
I'm
like
literally covered in crap.
I'll say, Kenny.
You know what? That's probably...
Kenny, we're willing to offer you free food in all of our establishments.
I'll
take it.
I would take the $100,000. I don't want my name. I don't want anybody. I'm probably never going to tell anybody what happened.
Or do you
the car that I drove home, I'm going to take it out and burn it.
Do you think you can go for the gusto, though? Go for a $500,000, but you're going to be all up in the papers.
Well, now the other thing is the lawsuit says that this man suffered bodily injury and he has required mental health care and counseling since the incident.
Well, wouldn't you? It's like an episode of Jackass gone wrong.
You have like PTSD every time you walk into the bathroom.
That poor man can't sit on for his morning constitutional and relax. He's worried about getting launched into space. David, what would the church do?
I don't know what the church would do, but what I would do is I would try to get more.
So you'd be willing to be in the paper?
I would be willing to be in the paper.
Okay.
Now, this actually did happen in Orlando, Florida. I won't say the name of the chain, obviously. But the man that it happened to is only seeking $100,000.
Man, if I'm that fast food chain, I'm paying that money in a hurry. We
That
don't need
nothing.
people worried about using our
I'm about to
toilet.
say, you know what? And as a matter of fact, you just pay me under the table. I don't want to pay taxes on this. Because,
Okay, that's not.
I
This
guess-
isn't a loan shark.
hey,
Well, they say upon deposition that the store's manager and other employees did know about the problem. So
Of an
they
exploding
knew it was
toilet.
you know what? How
I'm
about
getting
this?
more now.
Because at this point, I can settle, but I'm settling for more.
literally the blank was about to hit the
So
fan.
I thought it was random, but if they knew, I'm settling because I'm not going in the paper, but I want more.
Wow. How did he get out of the bathroom? What was that scene like?
Like what? Seriously,
How did he drive home? Rico's right. You'd have to Thelma and Louise your vehicle.
burn it? Like I would take it to the detailer.
Now, hold
And
on.
you know
They
what?
ain't taking your car. No detailer worth their salt's going to take a poop mobile.
I was
They
about to
are
say-
not taking that car.
Here's an extra $500. No questions asked.
Man,
Just
you-
clean. Do not ask me what happened.
But you
Do
know-
your best.
You're going to bring that car in and you're going to be like, no questions. Sir,
No,
you're-
you know what? No, really. At this point, I'm hoping I'm close enough to home, and I'm just.
you need the wolf from Pulp Fiction. You got to clean that vehicle.
The
top to bottom.
detailer goes into this and goes, sir, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Did a toilet explode in your face?
What part of no questions asked did you not understand?
Okay.
That's neither here nor there.
This is the colon man we're talking about.
Yeah, right. All right, let's one more quickly, please.
All right. Now this one, we've talked about this one before in past deal breakers, but it's such a great one. And this is another one that happened in the news recently. So let me read you this one. You and your wife have been going to a restaurant you love for at least 10 years since you moved to the area. You know where I'm going with this? We've done
No,
this
but
before.
go ahead.
You've never had a bad experience. You read in your local newspaper that the restaurant has received a C- rating by the Board of Health.
I'm out.
Does this have to be a mistake because you've never had a bad experience, or do you question going back again?
No, you can't go back.
Never.
You can't. It's like forever unclean.
They're
Like, remember
dead
the show
to
The League when the kid eats the ice chip from the urinal? Forever unclean. Once you show that a place got a dirty kitchen, can't be eaten there. Can't happen.
Well, C-. I mean,
Whoa, hey. Just because it's not as bad as your high school transcripts doesn't mean I'm going back there.
I would
that's what I'm saying. A
I'd
C- is pretty damn good.
I'd probably wait to see for the next report. So it'd be on probation. It'd be on suspension for me.
I'm out. Rico's in a wait and see. Kenny, we know the answer. He'd go right back.
I'd go right back.
Yeah, that's it. David,
No way. Done.
you're out.
Wow.
I'm with you. Roberto, this is 2 straight weeks. This is good.
Yeah.
And it's not the depressing stuff.
That's right.
Oh, I was crying alone in the corner. Roberto,
A toilet exploding is never depressing.
all right.
Never.
That is deal breakers. All right, Leap Day, Hungry Howie's. They got the best way for you to spend the last day of the month here. A little bonus with a bonus pizza. You get a one-topping pizza for 29 cents when you buy a large pizza at regular price. So any of their specialty pizzas, the Kenny Cott, the Chicken Bacon Ranch, you buy it, 29 cents for a one-topping on the side. The deal ain't coming back anytime soon. So take advantage of your extra day with some extra pizza for 29 cents. Order now, hungryhowies.com, or download that app and start earning rewards today. All right, David, Combine, ticket text, and then we'll get back into the Jared Goff stuff at 5 o'clock. There's been, a report, a projection, give you what the expected Goff contract will look like. You got to tell us whether you're okay with that. David, what do you got for us?
Oh, ticket text. Got to say, Deal Breakers is more funny with Kenny. He is a savage taking that money from the kids. That is from Jerry.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Kenny has no morals and no integrity. So it doesn't surprise us. Kenny is a man of the streets.
Kenny, I didn't mean to hit the bell. I just moved it. So in case you heard it.
He was validating our take.
Kenny Cott gave his ex-girlfriend a Valentine's Day card with a condom stapled to it. You cannot ask him for any sort of dating advice.
That's actually a true story. And not Kenny's finest moment.
Says Rico is right as usual. You have to sign the NDA, take the $100,000 and run. Your name will never be surfaced.
Nope. You guys would never know. Ever. Especially this dude.
I still just don't think anyone's detailing that car.
Oh, no, I would probably walk home. Yeah.
Someone else is saying Kenny doesn't need the $100,000. He just needs a sandwich for life.
That's right.
That's all he needs.
Free lunch meat, and Kenny's happy. What else do we have combine-wise? Obviously, today, D linemen are doing some of the drills.
They're running some drills right now. They ran 40s. Tavondre Sweat, I guess, as per usual, was not as fast as I thought it would be. He ran a 5.02.
He's 366
He ran a
pounds.
5.2. Yeah, that's okay. That's in range, David. It's okay. He'll get to the quarterback.
He will get to the quarterback.
I'm not asking him to go out and cover Tyreek Hill, okay?
You don't want him to come out and get Sam Laporta.
Right.
No, the second unit or the second group of defensive linemen will run very soon. But, it's looking very slow right now for the defensive line.
Well, my issue with the combine, it's always been the same thing. I don't get how anybody values it. I really don't. Brad Holmes said it best. 2020 was the best year because it's just about the football. It's about the tape. It's an interview which could take place at any time. This whole meat market aspect of the combine, it's just played out. Like, who the hell's impressed by a guy in gym shorts? Or because a guy aced a 3-cone drill or a Wonderlick. Like, every year I just feel like the combine gets cheapened. Last year, they made it out like C.J. Stroud couldn't read. Well, oops, he had the greatest rookie year ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's become made for TV. That's why. That you can now go, fans can go and watch the combine. This is like an event. It's a thing. It grows. It's like why downtown Detroit will probably have close to 1 million people down there for the draft. What are they doing? They're watching somebody put a baseball cap on their head. Let's be real. That's it.
Let me ask this question. Did you read the story that has come out today? Tom Brady ran a faster 40 today than he ran as a prospect 24 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
As he approaches, 50?
He's an alien.
So hold on. So which is more true? He was in that bad a shape 24 years ago, or is he in that good a shape now?
Or he's been replaced by aliens.
I actually wouldn't doubt choice 3.
Because he doesn't look anything like the Tom Brady that came into the league.
You're exactly right.
He looks nothing like him, and we all just act like, oh, no, that's Tom Brady. Like, really?
It's a Men in Black situation.
Right.
Somebody has taken over his body.
Like, right. He kept growing at the age of 30? Seriously?
He's now 6'6".
Right.
No, I don't believe that story. I haven't even seen a video of this, so I can't believe it until I see the video.
And you never get it. He just said he did it, and it's law.
No.
But no, I think
I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, I think he's in better shape. I mean, because when he was at the combine, yeah, he was just out there looking like Woody Harrelson in White Man Can't Jump. Just baggy clothes, and yeah. Now he takes care of himself. He eats right, does all of the right things to do. So I can see how he's in better shape. And probably that video embarrasses him. So he trained to run a better 40, even though he's out of the league. You'll see the video soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, doctored video. That's what it'd be.
Oh, come on, David.
I mean, come on. He wants to look the greatest at all times. So, of course, they're going to doctor
Do you
the
guys
video.
think he's actually going to make it to TV?
No, I don't.
I mean, you continue to hear about it. And Greg Olson commented going, look, I respect Tom and like Tom, but I'm not here to be number 2 to anybody. I've earned my keep. And it's like, I don't think Olson's this great revelation, but he's fine enough.
No, okay,
I think Brady will be a disaster.
Olsen fits. I don't know what you're going to get with Brady because I don't think Brady's going to be willing to share stories. The thing that makes the Manning cast so great is the stories that they tell. Brady is so guarded that it would just be either a bunch of inside things or he would just act as if, well, he caught a touchdown. Touchdown, black guy. All right.
See, and that's the thing. Last year when Fox had the Super Bowl, his very first year in the booth, he sounded great. I heard no complaints from his Super Bowl call or Super Bowl being in the booth. So, no, I don't need Brady at all. I'm good with what Greg Olson brings.
Yeah, I don't think that Brady's going to bring personality.
He's not a real human.
He's just so guarded and private with everything. And in order to go into the booth, the good people like Olsen, you feel like you just bellied up to the bar and they're sharing stories about what their life was like when the game is boring. They're giving you things that you never knew about. Like, oh, really? Let me tell you a little bit about Mike. Oh, wow. Really? Never knew that. You felt like you learned something. Well, I think Brady would just be like taking a master's level class in engineering. Like, okay, sure.
Paint drying.
Right.
And, here's the other thing. This is the problem. It would all depend on how serious he wants to take it. What I'll give Olsen credit for, Olsen has worked at the craft. Do you know who doesn't? Tony Romo. Tony Romo's a pinhead. He's an idiot. And Romo, the reports from TV executives have been, he's not doing the work. He's not taking this serious.
Well, you heard that in the Steelers-Bills playoff game where he had no clue the Steelers had a 2-back system.
How about the Super Bowl where he wouldn't shut the F up on the penultimate play of said Super Bowl? I mean, if you're Brady, here's the issue I take in it. You don't need that platform. You're so above it. You don't even need the money. He'll make the $350 somewhere else on a speaking circuit about avocado ice cream.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Brady needs to be seen. And now he's out of the limelight. He needs the public to see him at some point.
Why?
Because he's Tom Brady, and because when you turn on Monday nights, oh, Peyton Manning's there. Oh, Peyton Manning's in these commercials. I need to do something so people don't forget about me. Brady needs the attention. Brady needs the love. Brady can't just walk into the sunset and be happy.
Sounds like he needs a therapist. Good for him. I don't get these guys. You're Tom Brady. You got a $50 million house. Go enjoy it. Why do you need to be in the public? You've already given your entire life to the public.
But you hear with like athletes and entertainers, because your whole life you had attention, you don't want to become irrelevant. That's the worst thing that could happen to you, is
Poor
that
baby.
you actually walk into a store and no one knows who you are.
That sounds awesome.
Right. No, but to not to athletes and entertainers, no, because that means you're a has-been. Next thing you know, they're going to be asking you to be on Dancing with the Stars.
No.
Or you'll be on The Masked Singer just trying to say, hey, here I am. I still do something. I am alive.
It's fast. I'm learning a lot. It's tremendous. 248-539-9797. We'll get some football in the mix. Jared Goff, top of the hour as well. Victor's Home Solutions. It's so simple. You're going to work with a company that will take care of you, follow up when they say they will, show up on time, and when they do a roofing job, they're going to offer you that 50-year leak-free guarantee. Look, a lot of people aren't sure if they need a new roof. At Victor's, that's where the 21-point video inspection comes in. And they'll show it to you and explain it to you and then show you a game plan on how, if there needs to be a procedure done, how they will do it. Their craftsmanship, second to none. More 5-star reviews than any other roofing company, and it's very simple. You will find cheaper. You won't find better. It's Victor's. Get with them today. Schedule that 21-point video roof inspection today, 734-773-1100. That's 734-773-1100, or set your appointment at victors.com.
So the NFL Combine on-field workouts begin today. The defensive linemen and the linebackers will run and do drills later today. So we're going to get into some intriguing prospects going into the Combine for the draft. But before we do that, something news that came across that I don't understand this at all. Before we get to this, the Pac-12 network will continue to operate in 2024-25.
How?
Why?
The bigger question is why.
Okay, both how and why.
Look, who's your audience?
Who are your teams?
Who are those great games that you show nonstop?
Right, like what? There's only so many Oregon State moments you can show.
Right.
What am I missing?
Here's Ryan Leaf.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm a Mountain West team who they'll be playing, then give me some of that money because you just showed me for the whole year.
You know what? This is my go-to. Blame him. You did this.
I did not do this. I didn't do this. Is dumb. This is seriously getting an oil change on a rental car. There's no point to this. Just shut it down. There's nobody out there. Just admit defeat. It's almost like they want to say, no, we still have two teams. No, you don't. No one cares. These two teams were so bad that no one wanted them. They were the last picks, and people just said, screw it, we're done. We're just going to leave them to the side. The Big 12 didn't want you. Big 10 didn't want you. Nobody wanted you.
Please tell me it gets better from here.
Oh, we'll just start talking about some prospects here leading into the draft. So let's start with T'Vondre Sweat. He weighed in today at 362 pounds, and some people are maybe believing he could be a Jordan Davis type. Is he an intriguing prospect for this draft?
I don't think that that's necessarily fair. Sweat has more disruption ability than Jordan Davis. I'm never going to label him a pass rusher, but he's better with his hands. He's got better quicks. I think he's a little bit more than just a dominant run stuffer. And here's the downside. He's nowhere near as good against the run as Jordan. Jordan Davis was all-time good.
Yeah.
I think Sweat's a more balanced player. But the weight will always concern you. You're drafting a guy who's the better part of 400 pounds. Like that, that's a bit of a concern.
But see, I'm never concerned about that because once you finally get to a team, you're going to have a nutritionist. You're going to have people around you. You can get it built into your contract so that if
like Zion.
Yeah, so that if it does become a problem, okay, we have an out. So, son, you can't eat your way out the league. But this is one where maybe structure helps you out. And when you're in competition with other top players, you want to do better. You want to eat better. You want to take better care of yourself. I've never been worried about that, David, because people are like, oh, well, look at the tape.
By the way,
I don't care how big he is, he disrupts. And if you could put him, he may never be a superstar. Hold on. He may never be a superstar, but if you put him next to somebody else, that's one of those lines where you're like, man, nobody's getting through there.
How does a guy 366 pounds have a 26-inch vertical jump?
Once again, that's why I'm saying I'm not worried about the weight because he's athletic. He's a freak of nature.
That's crazy.
Okay? He just rewards himself with a couple extra oatmeal cream pies.
Let's get over here to talk about Chop Robinson. Many people believe that he is
That's Mr. Pork Chop Robinson.
Really good defensive end, but he never quite amounted to what was expected to be a premier pass rusher in college. Thoughts on him as a very intriguing prospect for the draft.
Likes him better than I do. I'm not really impressed with him. So for me, I'll stay out of this.
Not to be married to a particular person, but like if he's there at 29 and if the Lions have that pick, I would not be angry. I don't think that Penn State utilized him the way that he is, and I do think that he can be an edge rusher. He's a guy that you put opposite of Aiden. It's the guy that we said, get Aiden a playmate. That's a playmate. He can be explosive. And kind of like Aiden, he may never be the alpha, but those two together could be dangerous. He's never going to be a Bosa type where you can't just stop him.
If I'm reading
He's not
this,
Myles Garrett.
If I'm reading this right, measured just a smidge over 6 feet tall, 254. That doesn't do it for me.
That's the thing because he was listed at 6'3".
Yeah, that don't do it. Yeah, and Antoine Randall was listed at 5'10". He was 4 feet tall.
Well, don't forget, Peppers was 6'2".
I know. Hey, look, man. I'm just saying, 6 feet, 254.
Once again,
little dicey.
I look at the tape. He was able to get to the quarterback. He was able to do a lot of things. And he did it under false pretenses, he was still the same size at Penn State, able to get to the QB.
Well, then let's talk about the next guy here, and that is Jared Verse. Can he match up what he does at the combine to his tape and be the best edge rusher in the draft?
Yes.
That's it. Now that's Mike's guy. I'll leave it to the senator from Troy, New York.
It's some bias. I just think physically insane profile. He was one of those hyper-productive D1 AA players at UAlbany, and then he went to Florida State, and he just kept on doing it. Like, he's got the requisite physical. I would worry about a 6 foot, 254-pound guy. I don't worry about Jared Verse. I have a hard time believing he'll get past 15. And if Brad Holmes were going to do the whole move-up thing, Verse would be one of those dudes I would do it for, because I think he's a bit of a freakazoid.
Okay, all right. Well, let's
I love him.
Get to a couple defensive backs here. One is Cooper DeJean, who is coming off an injury.
Broken leg, to be specific.
And then someone who was considered the top corner going into the season for the draft, which is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Let's talk about both of those guys and if there's anything they can do to elevate themselves.
Well, I think both guys have value because they help you on special teams too.
I was just about to say that.
But DeJean's got to show you he's back from a broken leg, measurables, how fast does he run? Kool-Aid is a puzzle. Has all the measurables, has all the athleticism, and went to Alabama. Yet, never really jumps out at you when you watch Alabama.
The funny thing is, I think Cooper DeJean is the safer of the two picks. He broke his leg. Rehab it. You can get him back up there. Maybe he's a fraction of a second slower. You never know. But the fact that you could put him in the defensive backfield and you could also have him returning kickoffs and punts, it helps a lot. He's elusive. He has that joystick factor, especially if they change the kickoff rules in the NFL where you can now return them again. For Kool-Aid, yeah, it's one of those, you had so much hype, and maybe it's our fault because we hyped him up and he just could never live up to it. And now we're disappointed because he's not as good as we all thought he was going to be.
So let's touch on this guy here, considered a man amongst boys for many of his college years. I believe he's a top 5 talent in the draft. May not go in the top 5, but let's tight end from Georgia, Brock Bowers.
What is there to say? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why I look at mock drafts now and he's not in the top 6. He's not a tight end. He's like Kyle Pitts with polish. And he's a vertical threat. It's the downfield stuff. It's the route running. I mean, Georgia in many instances, and Kenny would confirm this, Rico will confirm it, they're splitting Bowers out wide and running wide receiver routes with him where he's running, like a deep post corner and putting double moves on guys. He's unbelievable.
He is, but you know what he is? He's a luxury pick. If you're drafting that high, man, you need an offensive lineman or you need a quarterback or you need something. You don't have we could just take this guy. It's not like all of a sudden. So let me ask this. Like the Chiefs.
Let me ask you a question. Bears take Caleb Williams #1 and they're coming back at 9. What better way to help your new franchise quarterback than to put Brock Bowers on the same field with DJ Moore?
Yes.
Yeah, you would do that?
No. But see, the thing is, Bears need offensive linemen. Got to protect that quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I had to ask.
No.
Had to ask.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a luxury pick. Now, if the Bears already had an established line, are you crazy? Yes. Like, to me, I don't see how he gets past Harbaugh and the Chargers. That seems perfect. You give Herbert this toy and say, here you go, son. Let's go win. But that's why I think he's sliding, because then you get to after the 10th pick, those teams will take the best available. And that's where he could go. Like I said, if it was one of those years where one of the playoff teams happened to own a pick, he would be gone.
Here's what he needs. All right, there's no declaration yet of whether he's going to run the 40 now or pro day. He needs to run a wicked 40, and I need to see if he measures out north of 6'4". Because, again, Rob Gronkowski was a freakazoid because he was 6'6", 6'7", right? If Bowers measures shorter than the listed 6'4", that's a problem, because then I'm with Rico. Then you're just a big wide receiver. You're not a unicorn. The unicorn is Bowers comes in and measures 6'4.5" with the speed. The tape matches up.
I've never understand why do colleges? Why not just put the real height?
Why lie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like
I don't know.
You're gonna get exposed. It's like who does this? It's like when they're pro day, I always subtract. Oh, he ran a 3.9. Really? Because he just ran a 5.2.
That is in football today.
Bell.
So the NFL Combine on-field workouts begin today. The defensive linemen and the linebackers will run and do drills later today. So we're going to get into some intriguing prospects going into the Combine for the draft. But before we do that, something news that came across that I don't understand this at all. Before we get to this, the Pac-12 network will continue to operate in 2024-25.
How?
Why?
The bigger question is why.
Okay, both how and why.
Look, who's your audience?
Who are your teams?
Who are those great games that you show nonstop?
Right, like what? There's only so many Oregon State moments you can show.
Right.
What am I missing?
Here's Ryan Leaf.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm a Mountain West team who they'll be playing, then give me some of that money because you just showed me for the whole year.
You know what? This is my go-to. Blame him. You did this.
I did not do this. I didn't do this. Is dumb. This is seriously getting an oil change on a rental car. There's no point to this. Just shut it down. There's nobody out there. Just admit defeat. It's almost like they want to say, no, we still have two teams. No, you don't. No one cares. These two teams were so bad that no one wanted them. They were the last picks, and people just said, screw it, we're done. We're just going to leave them to the side. The Big 12 didn't want you. Big 10 didn't want you. Nobody wanted you.
Please tell me it gets better from here.
Oh, we'll just start talking about some prospects here leading into the draft. So let's start with Tavondre Sweat. He weighed in today at 362 pounds, and some people are maybe believing he could be a Jordan Davis type. Is he an intriguing prospect for this draft?
I don't think that that's necessarily fair. Sweat has more disruption ability than Jordan Davis. I'm never going to label him a pass rusher, but he's better with his hands. He's got better quicks. I think he's a little bit more than just a dominant run stuffer. And here's the downside. He's nowhere near as good against the run as Jordan. Jordan Davis was all-time good.
Yeah.
I think Sweat's a more balanced player. But the weight will always concern you. You're drafting a guy who's the better part of 400 pounds. Like that. That's a bit of a concern.
But see, I'm never concerned about that because once you finally get to a team, you're going to have a nutritionist, you're going to have people around you. You can get it built into your contract so that if
like Zion.
Yeah, so that if it does become a problem, okay, we have an out. So, son, you can't eat your way out the league. But this is one where maybe structure helps you out. And when you're in competition with other top players, you want to do better. You want to eat better. You want to take better care of yourself. I've never been worried about that, David, because people are like, oh, well, look at the tape.
By the way,
I don't care how big he is, he disrupts. And if you could put him, he may never be a superstar. Hold on. He may never be a superstar, but if you put him next to somebody else, that's one of those lines where you're like, man, nobody's getting through there.
How does a guy 366 pounds have a 26-inch vertical jump?
Once again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the weight because he's athletic. He's a freak of nature.
That's crazy.
Okay? He just rewards himself with a couple extra oatmeal cream pies.
Let's get over here to talk about Chop Robinson. Many people believe that he is...
That's Mr. Pork Chop Robinson.
Really good defensive end, but he never quite amounted to what was expected to be a premier pass rusher in college. Thoughts on him as a very intriguing prospect for the
He
draft.
likes him better than I do. I'm not really impressed with him. So for me, I'll stay out of this.
Not to be married to a particular person, but like if he's there at 29 and if the Lions have that pick, I would not be angry. I don't think that Penn State utilized him the way that he is, and I do think that he can be an edge rusher. He's a guy that you put opposite of Aiden. It's the guy that we said, get Aiden a playmate. That's a playmate. He can be explosive. And kind of like Aiden, he may never be the alpha, but those two together could be dangerous. He's never going to be a Bosa type where you can't just stop him.
Brought to you by 24 Seconds Bar and Grill. The Lions have to go all in, so says Yahoo Sports' Dan Wetzel in a Thursday column on the urgency of Detroit's predicament. Quote, loaded with young talent, on a hot streak in the draft, with plenty of capital to add or use in a trade, flush with available money to make contracts work or bring in a splash free agent, all in should be the general goal because while yes, this may be Detroit, a Super Bowl is very much there for the taking. To that end, the Lions are working on locking up Amon-Ra St. Brown. Detroit reportedly negotiating with St. Brown's representation at the Combine this week, coming off a first-team All-Pro season, and with his rookie deal expiring after this coming season, St. Brown positioned to become the league's highest-paid receiver. That title currently belongs to Tyreek Hill, who signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with Miami 2 years ago. The last time the Red Wings won 7 straight, some of us were bracing for the apocalypse, as predicted by the Mayan calendar. That was back in 2012. The Wings host the Islanders tonight with a chance to extend their current streak to 7. Hear it here on 97.1 starting at 6:45. Wings also unveiled their first ever sponsored jersey patch partner today, Priority Waste. Not going over well on social media. Some fans calling the new look, quote, literal trash jerseys. Wings debut that patch tonight. At the Corwell Health Update Desk, I'm Beanie Howell. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Hey, before we get into the Goff thing, Kenny, question for you as the Red Wing diehard here. Like, I don't really react to the patches on jerseys. You know, like when they put the Meyer thing on the helmet, I didn't care. The NBA, I mean, the Celtics have had 3 different sponsors in 3 years. I don't care. Is that really a point of anger for you? I know Beanie said it's not going over well on social. I don't think anything would go well on social.
Well, no, it's
those animals on social media. You could give them free pizza for life. They'd complain it doesn't include 2 toppings.
Right.
Kenny.
It's how I found out because I saw Costa was complaining and I saw Kenny made a comment and I finally.
Oh, so you're one of those.
Yeah.
This affects you?
It's not because of the patch. I knew the patch eventually was going to happen. It's not even about how it looks. I think it looks fine. It's a garbage company. We're talking about putting garbage on a once proud historic jersey, okay? I could do without that. I could do without it.
Oh, man.
It's a garbage company. It's like a dumpster rental company. I don't want dumpster on my jersey. This is my jersey.
So Kenny is upset. Okay. I just wanted to ask.
And they're going to lose to the Islanders tonight because of it.
I think a lot of Wings fans are now waiting to see, if we tank. I mean, Mike, people act like this with jerseys. Trust me. When the Lions change their jersey, we're going to have a show how everybody hates them. And this is the dumbest thing ever until they go out there and they win and they'll fly off the shelves.
You know what kills me? Like the NBA, which was one of the first leagues to do this. You could ask me to name 5 teams' advertisements. Like, I know Oklahoma City is like loves truck stops or whatever it is, just because the patch is huge on the jerseys and it. Like the Celtics were GE and then Vistaprint. I don't know if it's changed again. The point I'm making is I know very few of these that I care about.
The Warriors is what, Rattan?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's but yes,
good for
you're right.
So my point is I don't let it affect my viewing experience.
Right.
It just doesn't, I don't care. But Kenny's taking it personal. Okay.
I mean, hold on. Think about how many people hate the Lions all grays.
Yeah, but that's an actual uniform. That's not just a patch.
No, but people just don't like change. So you're changing the beloved Wings sweater.
All right.
I think once the puck drops, I'll get over it. But right now, it's kind of.
I was going to say.
Because Kenny, if they go out there and win tonight 8-1.
Ooh.
Then the Isles just lost to a garbage team.
Okay. We've lost to plenty of those. It really doesn't matter.
By the way, I know it doesn't matter, but there are 2 NBA teams that don't have a sponsor on their jersey.
Who are those 2?
Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trailblazers.
You hate to see it. All right, let me give you
What's the Pistons?
UWM.
Oh.
Let me give you, well, not for long the way they've played. I mean, they may want to reconsider. So the Goff thing. You had Bleacher Report, Jordan Schultz reporting Goff will get between 40 and 45 in a new contract. And then Spot Track, which does cap table, does projections. They had a piece where Jared Goff's projected contract extension will be 4 at 180. And we talked earlier in the show about this. The top paid quarterback in football right now is Joe Burrow. It won't stay that way for long. He makes 55. The quarterback market is going to get to 60 very quickly. Mm-hmm. If you could pay Goff 45 when 60 is the top of the market, that's a value. So we've done this today just in a fun way of like, all right, if we're walking down the aisle with Jared Goff, speak now or forever hold your peace. I am totally comfortable paying him $45 million a year because A, the cap is going to continue to go up. The cap went up in a huge way this year, 31 mil. Your cap table's clean. You have so much money to spend the next 3 years, it's not even close. Right. Tons of money to spend. And the whole convo was, well, Jared Goff's not Joe Burrow or he's not Patrick Mahomes. It's like, okay, well, he's not going to be paid like it. You know, Mahomes signed a $500 million 10-year deal. Mahomes is going to redo that deal, be making 60 real soon. He is. Burrow makes it. These guys are in the 50s. Lamar Jackson. Goff, by the second year of this new deal, Rico, he could be outside the top 12.
Yeah. Because I think I still think the first one to make 60, if he continues on this pace, will probably be C.J. Stroud.
Well, no, they've got years to.
That's what I'm saying. At that point, I think it's going to keep going up and up and
70.
up, and he'll flirt, but he will end up being the highest paid at some point. Because I think, but I understand if you're still $15 million per year under what the top quarterbacks are getting, with that extra $15 million, that's a player. Or 2 or 3, if you manage it right, that you can add to this team.
And one of those, just the other news of the day, Amon-Ra's reps, Lions reps, conversations at the Combine. So again, I'm open about it. I love Amon-Ra. I think Amon-Ra, maybe more so than any player on this roster, represents exactly what Lions culture is and who they are. I mean, he's a walking spite store. He's a consummate professional. He's a football player. He is tough, and he's one of the 5 best receivers in the sport. If there's a knock, it's that he's not 6'5", or it's that he's not this dominant perimeter red zone guy. But you know what? He more than makes up for it where you can't cover a man up.
Now, you know what? I think the knock, and maybe this is a Ben Johnson thing, you need to come up with more plays for him. How we're always talking about how is Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and all of these guys just so wide open, where it's almost like in the fourth quarter, that should be his time where he makes it and like, yeah, he was wide open on this play. That's what I would like to see.
The question just becomes, Goff at 45 mil, 4 at 180. Do you have a problem, or can you lay your sword down and you sign him? And look, the Amon-Ra thing, I have no idea. I know what the top receivers go for, and it's going to be between $25 and $30 million. And if you told me they signed Amon-Ra 4 at 100 or 4 at 110, I wouldn't blink. It's viewed as a cost doing business.
4 at 100, great. And I think, as I said earlier, if you sign him at 4 at 100, front load it so that the back end of that deal, it's very cap friendly. For those who are worried about how are you going to pay all these other guys? Amon-Ra already took care of that. He got his money up front.
248-539-9797. So that's been the topic of the day. I think 4 at 180, it'd be hard for the anti-Goff crowd to really be angry. I mean, you won't be getting what you want, which is this weird, morbid curiosity of life without Goff. Okay, fine. But 4 at 180? I mean, think about it, man. Daniel Jones got 4 at 160. Really? That is just non-comparable. And this other stuff, here's the other thing as we move along. Guys, this idea that you're going to keep everybody together in continuum regardless of how you operate is faulty. It's impossible. I mean, how do you know you're even signing Taylor Decker in another year at age 31? Especially when Penei Sewell was drafted as a left tackle and played it. And he's awesome. And you're going to invest in him. How do you know Ragnow's going to play beyond this year? You got people sitting here worried about what, an extension? Ragnow damn near retired this year.
Or the question that nobody wants to ask is, you would like to say, Mike, the quiet part out loud, how do you know you want him back?
Right.
You may just be ready to move on because you've drafted their replacement.
In the here and now, I got to pay my quarterback, and I probably got to get Amon-Ra taken care of and done with. And we move forward. So I would just like to know if people are okay. Now, if you don't want Jared Goff, if you don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, it's fine. You won't prove yourself right. I won't be able to prove you wrong, and we can just agree to disagree. But I don't have a better solution, and I'll tell you, at $45 million, I know it sounds strange to call that a bargain, but it kind of is.
It really is.
You know, because you've seen stories where Dak Prescott might start making 60, and I go, how? How? So, yeah, I mean, David, where are you at with it? 45 a year for 4 years, 4 at 180.
That's a steal. Sign it now and run away. That's what you have to do with Jared Goff.
Just be done with it.
Just that's it.
You and I are in the same position. You're sitting there going, 4 at 180 for this guy. You're sitting there with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. I'm sitting here with Daniel Jones. And these Lion fans are sitting like, no, we don't want Jared Goff. I'm like,
yeah, I'm like a caller earlier that said, look, if I'm Brad Holmes, you tell Dan Campbell, stay at the combine. I'm running back home. I got to make this deal now.
I got an errand.
Wait,
yeah.
Is there a fax machine somewhere around here? Let's just go ahead and fax that over to your agent.
248-539-9797. David, ticket text coming in on it. Go ahead.
LFG signed the Goff contract and get that ring. Hunter and Snead have to be next. Someone else says, I was expecting 4 at 200 for Goff, so 4 at 180 feels like a steal. Another person said the same people who don't want to pay Goff are the same people who must have bought the Detroit Rams gear. That is Tim in Clarkston. I heard the Goff number and hair grew out. Clouds open as I look like the singer of Creed. Now with my arms open, I love this deal. We need to get Goff signing out of the way. It's a must. Letting Hendon Hooker take over is the dumbest move we could ever make.
Yeah, it's a real bizarre take is all I can tell you. All right, we'll get some phone calls in the mix. We'll do it next. Rico, talk to him.
You want that career in radio or TV, graphics design artist? Specs at LTU could help you achieve that goal. And the good news is about Specs at LTU. Classes are starting year-round. You do not have to wait until the fall to get started on your career. Specs at LTU can help you achieve that goal. So what are you waiting for? Be curious. Visit the website, ltu.edu/specs, to learn more about the broadcast media arts, digital media arts, and graphics communications program taught through Specs at LTU in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. You're going to be taught by instructors like yours truly who work in the business. What does that mean? It means with the hands-on approach and the expert faculty, you're going to learn the practical skills you need to succeed in today's media industry. So once again, what are you waiting for? Be curious. Visit the website, ltu.edu/specs, to learn more. Then make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program. Do that today.
America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. All the biggest games, best viewing experience, 6 pools, 3 levels, perfect view of the biggest outdoor sports book on the globe. It is Stadium Swim. Book your spot today at circalasvegas.com. All right, Rico's got an update for us. Kenny, Wings trying to make it 7 straight. Islanders stink, so you should be all right. What do you got?
Second group of defensive linemen are running at the combine right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new fastest man from the big men. Want to take a guess who it was?
I know the answer, so I can't lie.
Okay, well, Jared Verse. He just came in at a 4.59. His second run was a 4.59. He is not the fastest. There is actually a guy, Chop Robinson. Talked about him earlier in the show. Guy that I like. I would love to see here in Honolulu Blue and Silver. 4.49.
Here's the difference, though. One dude is 6'5" and 260. The other dude is 6 feet tall and 250.
More aerodynamic.
I don't want aerodynamic as a part of my defensive ends.
He's faster. Can get around the edge.
I'll take Jared Verse. But hey, listen, it's a big number. It's going to help his draft stock. He's going to get paid.
Okay, see, this is wrong because they got Braden Fisk, Patrick Mahomes, and then my man Sweat running that simultaneous at 40.
Oh, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
That's terrible.
But then they got Patrick Mahomes tweeted back in because they saw he got beat by Braden Fisk. Outran Mahomes in the 40 times. So Mahomes get the meme of the little kid kicking at the table who's angry.
But yeah, I mean, look, there's so much time for this to all play out. Let's get to the people, see what they got to say about the Goff stuff. Let's go over to Andrew, 97.1. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
So, there's this notion that the Lions need to go out and drop big money on a big free agent, and their Super Bowl window is now, and I just don't see that. We got, I think Hutchinson, Sewell, Laporta, Gibbs, they could all be the highest paid, maybe even Branch, at their position one day. They're all under the age of 25 or at 25. And so, that's, the idea that it's got to win in the next 3 years, I just don't agree with that. You could take this, whatever it is, $65 million, get, a bunch of veterans, have one of the best rosters top to bottom in the entire NFL, and then, go get that first-round corner or go get that first-round defensive tackle. But I think the idea that, we got to get, the Snead or, we just, we got to go big, I just don't think that's true. I think our Super Bowl window is more like 8 years, 7-8 years, not the next 2 or 3.
Andrew, in 7-8 years, you do realize that probably 75% of the people on this roster won't be here. Just to let you know. I mean,
and Hutchinson and the other guys will be.
Right. Your window is
over the next 7 years.
No. Your window is now because nothing is guaranteed. Injuries, lots of things can happen. You were one of the 4 teams, the final 4 teams. That means that your window opened whether you liked it or not. And to put it in perspective, I think only about 12 49ers were on the team 5 years ago when they made the Super Bowl. You flip rosters all the time. Your window, you got to take care of it. You got to pay the people. If you're sitting up here wondering about 6-7 years from now, you may be watching the wrong sport. Andrew, this isn't the same Lions where we're constantly wondering who you're going to take in the draft. Yeah, this is big boy football. Ask the Buffalo Bills about a window because theirs is closing. You don't get 6-7 years, not in the NFL.
Well, but, you go out and you pay Snead. Let's say, okay, he tears his ACL, and then you invested all this money into players. You can't re-sign the guys you want to re-sign, and in 3 years, you're tearing down the roster.
Yeah, or I signed Snead, and he's not on the team by the time you got to pay Laporta. Look, Andrew, if you want to live that way, don't get in your car tonight because there's a chance it could blow up with you inside of it. Like, you can't do that, Andrew. Jesus, H. Mary, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, well, what if he gets hurt? I don't know, Andrew. What if I die in my sleep tonight? Guess I won't go to bed.
Your window. So did I hear correctly? The window.
Oh, he thinks he's got 8 years.
Starts.
Here's the other thing. You could sign Daniil Hunter, and he will be off the team before you have to trigger Sam Laporta's extension or a 5th year.
No, but the fact that he's thinking 6, 7, 8 years from now, that's your window is now.
What are you talking about? Jared Goff will just be hitting his prime 8 years.
David.
I stayed quiet for the whole call until the end. I just couldn't do it
You
anymore.
literally are a play away from trying to get yourself into the Super Bowl with like 7 minutes to go in the NFC Championship game, and you're telling me with a straight face that your window is not open yet. It is open, whether you want it to happen or not.
Frank Ragnow will be fresh in 8 years. What are you talking about?
Frank Ragnow may be in the Hall of Fame in 8 years.
There's
and I'm not joking.
There's a very good chance that in 2 years, Ragnow and Decker aren't here. How's that 8-year window looking?
Yeah. He's already sat out the required time, and now he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Frank Ragnow's in a gold jacket doing an interview with TJ.
Right.
I don't know.
And the whole, well, what if somebody gets hurt? That's football, man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes could go out there and blow out his Achilles in preseason. That's what what are they going to say? Well, Mahomes, we're going to just go ahead and cancel your contract? No, it happens.
Here's the
football.
Other thing. We're not married to any one player. I brought up Snead yesterday because he was in the news. If you don't want Snead, fine. Let's see if you can get Kendall Fuller. Guess what? Kendall Fuller won't be here by the time the Laportas and the Branches are up. Seriously. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just more so 7, 8 years. That's when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. What are you doing in the time period?
No, he said the window's 8 years.
Yeah, that doesn't.
That's been the Patriots and the old school Niners from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
That's about all I can give you for 8-year windows. One of them was pre-free agency. The other is they have Michael Jordan on a football field.
Right. You may be close with the Chiefs, but once again, this is a guy that may take over for Tom Brady. Your windows in the NFL are about, if you're good, 4 years, and then you start to decline. Go ask the Rams, see how that's going for them.
Go to Tim, 97.1. Timmy, what's going on, man?
Oh, hey, guys. Love your show as always. Yeah, so answer me this. I say, why should Brad Holmes play with fire when it comes to Jared Goff? Give him 5 at 250, which puts him about number 6, number 7 at average annual value, just below the elite guys. 3 years, the 3 years up front are guaranteed before you know what you got in Hendon Hooker. And then just put in a couple of incentives, like if he wins the NFC Championship, then year 4 is guaranteed at 50. If he wins a Super Bowl, then year 5 is guaranteed at 50. Like, why not do that? It takes the Hendon Hooker part into the equation, but you know that Goff is your guy for easily the next 2 seasons, if not 2.5. And for those people concerned about Hendon, it's the Jordan Love model. But why mess with it and play with fire? Just give Jared 50 for 5 years and front load it. I mean, what do you think about that? Am I crazy?
Good. Look, we're going off the projection and the report from Jordan Schultz about it's going to be between 40 and 45. I mean, Tim, I'm just of the opinion you have a franchise QB, you pay him, and you live with the results, because the other side is, it's an imperfect thing. You go into the wilderness. So, yeah, the teams that have the quarterbacks pay them. I think if Goff's willing to return for 45, it's just no-brainer. I'm willing to accept what he is and what he is not. And I feel like as quarterback salaries escalate into the 60s, you'd be operating at, a 25% discount at the position.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you got to pay him. I think you got to pay Amon-Ra. This conversation about paying Aiden Hutchinson, he just finished his 2nd year. I got 3 years to take care of that. I got 2 years to take care of Sewell.
Really, you have 4 years, because there's a franchise tag that you can put on
if you wanted to go that route. Right. It's just, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Rico. Like, people are worried about stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, your window won't be open for 8 years. I can almost promise you that. Take advantage of it now. David, your window didn't stay open for 8 years, did it?
No.
And you guys won Super Bowls.
There's no guarantee Dan Campbell's here in 8 years.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Listen, man. Oh, boy. All right. Let's get to a little football today. We'll take care of business. Who's coming up at 6?
Rieger.
Yes, Rieger.
Is he here?
Not here yet. Don't hear him. So,
Boy, I'll tell you.
He's got a short show.
Whatever happened to showing up before your broadcast? What a strange world we live in.
He went over it already.
All right, Northville Lumber, oldest company in the state, largest Trex decking outlet in the country. Nobody stocks more. Nobody sells more than Northville Lumber. Trex decking, railing, lighting, they've got it all. In stock all the time. And it's right in their warehouse. That's how you move enough product to cover 26 football fields. And whether you're a builder or a do-it-yourselfer or anything in between, Northville will get you squared away. They'll even introduce you to a Trex certified pro. So call Northville Lumber today or just go to northvillelumber.com. That's northvillelumber.com.
So the NFL Combine on-field workouts begin today. The defensive linemen and the linebackers will run and do drills later today. So we're going to get into some intriguing prospects going into the Combine for the draft. But before we do that, something news that came across that I don't understand this at all. Before we get to this, the Pac-12 network will continue to operate in 2024-25.
How?
Why?
The bigger question is why.
Okay, both how and why.
Look, who's your audience?
Who are your teams?
Who are those great games that you show nonstop?
Like what? There's only so many Oregon State moments you can show.
Right.
What am I missing
Here's
here?
Ryan Leaf.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm a Mountain West team who they'll be playing, then give me some of that money because you just showed me for the whole year.
You know what? This is my go-to. Blame him. You did this.
I did not do this. I didn't do this. Is dumb. This is seriously getting an oil change on a rental car. There's no point to this. Just shut it down. There's nobody out there. Just admit defeat. It's almost like they want to say, no, we still have two teams. No, you don't. No one cares. These two teams were so bad that no one wanted them. They were the last picks, and people just said, screw it, we're done. We're just going to leave them to the side. The Big 12 didn't want you. Big 10 didn't want you. Nobody wanted you.
Please tell me it gets better from here.
Oh, we'll just start talking about some prospects here leading into the draft. So let's start with Tavondre Sweat. He weighed in today at 362 pounds, and some people are maybe believing he could be a Jordan Davis type. Is he an intriguing prospect for this draft?
I don't think that that's necessarily fair. Sweat has more disruption ability than Jordan Davis. I'm never going to label him a pass rusher, but he's better with his hands. He's got better quicks. I think he's a little bit more than just a dominant run stuffer. And here's the downside. He's nowhere near as good against the run as Jordan. Jordan Davis was all-time good.
Yeah.
I think Sweat's a more balanced player. But the weight will always concern you. You're drafting a guy who's the better part of 400 pounds. Like that, that's a bit of a concern.
But see, I'm never concerned about that because once you finally get to a team, you're going to have a nutritionist. You're going to have people around you. You can get it built into your contract so that if
like Zion.
Yeah, so that if it does become a problem, okay, we have an out. So, son, you can't eat your way out the league. But this is one where maybe structure helps you out. And when you're in competition with other top players, you want to do better. You want to eat better. You want to take better care of yourself. I've never been worried about that, David, because people are like, oh, well, look at the tape.
By the way,
I don't care how big he is, he disrupts. And if you could put him, he may never be a superstar. Hold on. He may never be a superstar, but if you put him next to somebody else, that's one of those lines where you're like, man, nobody's getting through there.
How does a guy 366 pounds have a 26-inch vertical jump?
Once again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the weight because he's athletic. He's a freak of nature.
That's crazy.
Okay? He just rewards himself with a couple extra oatmeal cream pies.
Let's get over here to talk about Chop Robinson. Many people believe that he is
That's Mr. Pork Chop Robinson.
really good defensive end, but he never quite amounted to what was expected to be a premier pass rusher in college. Thoughts on him as a very intriguing prospect for the
He
draft.
likes him better than I do. I'm not really impressed with him. So for me, I'll stay out of this.
Not to be married to a particular person, but like if he's there at 29 and if the Lions have that pick, I would not be angry. I don't think that Penn State utilized him the way that he is, and I do think that he can be an edge rusher. He's a guy that you put opposite of Aiden. It's the guy that we said, get Aiden a playmate. That's a playmate. He can be explosive. And kind of like Aiden, he may never be the alpha, but those two together could be dangerous. He's never going to be a Bosa type where you can't just stop him.
If I'm reading
He's not
this,
Myles Garrett.
If I'm reading this right, measured just a smidge over 6 feet tall, 254. That doesn't do it for me.
That's the thing, because he was listed at 6'3".
Yeah, that don't do it. Yeah, and Antoine Randall was listed at 5'10". He was 4 feet tall.
Well, hey, don't forget, Peppers was 6'2".
I know. Hey, look, man. I'm just saying, 6 feet, 254.
Once again,
little dicey.
I look at the tape. He was able to get to the quarterback. He was able to do a lot of things. And he did it under false pretenses. He was still the same size at Penn State, able to get to the QB.
Well, then let's talk about the next guy here, and that is Jared Verse. Can he match up what he does at the combine to his tape and be the best edge rusher in the draft?
Yes.
That's it. Now that's Mike's guy. I'll leave it to the senator from Troy, New York.
It's some bias. I just think physically insane profile. He was one of those hyper-productive D1 AA players at UAlbany, and then he went to Florida State, and he just kept on doing it. Like, he's got the requisite physical. I would worry about a 6 foot, 254-pound guy. I don't worry about Jared Verse. I have a hard time believing he'll get past 15. And if Brad Holmes were going to do the whole move-up thing, Verse would be one of those dudes I would do it for, because I think he's a bit of a freakazoid.
Okay, all right. Well, let's
I love him.
Get to a couple defensive backs here. One is Cooper DeJean, who is coming off an injury.
Broken leg, to be specific.
And then someone who was considered the top corner going into the season for the draft, which is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Let's talk about both of those guys and if there's anything they can do to elevate themselves.
Well, I think both guys have value because they help you on special teams too.
I was just about to say that.
But DeJean's got to show you he's back from a broken leg, measurables, how fast does he run? Kool-Aid is a puzzle. Has all the measurables, has all the athleticism, and went to Alabama. Yet, never really jumps out at you when you watch Alabama.
The funny thing is, I think Cooper DeJean is the safer of the two picks. He broke his leg. Rehab it. You can get him back up there. Maybe he's a fraction of a second slower. You never know. But the fact that you could put him in the defensive backfield and you could also have him returning kickoffs and punts, it helps a lot. He's elusive. He has that joystick factor, especially if they change the kickoff rules in the NFL where you can now return them again. For Kool-Aid, yeah, it's one of those, you had so much hype, and he maybe it's our fault because we hyped him up and he just could never live up to it. And now we're disappointed because he's not as good as we all thought he was going to be.
So let's touch on this guy here, considered a man amongst boys for many of his college years. I believe he's a top 5 talent in the draft. May not go in the top 5, but let's tight end from Georgia, Brock Bowers.
What is there to say? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why I look at mock drafts now and he's not in the top 6. He's not a tight end. He's like Kyle Pitts with polish. And he's a vertical threat. It's the downfield stuff. It's the route running. I mean, Georgia in many instances, and Kenny would confirm this, Rico will confirm it, they're splitting Bowers out wide and running wide receiver routes with him where he's running, like a deep post corner and putting double moves on guys. He's unbelievable.
He is, but you know what he is? He's a luxury pick. If you're drafting that high, man, you need an offensive lineman or you need a quarterback or you need something. You don't have like, oh, we could just take this guy. It's not like all
So
of a
let
sudden.
me ask this.
Like the Chiefs.
Let me ask you a question. Bears take Caleb Williams number 1, and they're coming back at 9. What better way to help your new franchise quarterback than to put Brock Bowers on the same field with DJ Moore?
Yes.
Yeah, you would do that?
No. But see, the thing is, Bears need offensive linemen. You got to protect that quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I had to ask.
No.
Had to ask.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a luxury pick. Now, if the Bears already had an established line, are you crazy? Yes. Like, to me, I don't see how he gets past Harbaugh and the Chargers. That seems perfect. You give Herbert this toy and say, here you go, son. Let's go win. But that's why I think he's sliding, because then you get to after the 10th pick, those teams will take the best available. And that's where he could go. Like I said, if it was one of those years where one of the playoff teams happened to own a pick, he would be gone.
Here's what he needs. All right, there's no declaration yet of whether he's going to run the 40 now or pro day. He needs to run a wicked 40, and I need to see if he measures out north of 6'4". Because, again, Rob Gronkowski was a freakazoid because he was 6'6", 6'7", right? If Bowers measures shorter than the listed 6'4", that's a problem, because then I'm with Rico. Then you're just a big wide receiver. You're not a unicorn. The unicorn is Bowers comes in and measures 6'4.5" with the speed. The tape matches up.
I've never understood why not just put the real height?
Why lie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like
I don't know.
You're gonna get exposed. It's like, who does this? It's like when they're pro day, I always subtract. Oh, he ran a 3.9. Really? Because he just ran a 5.2.
That is in football today.
Bell.
So the NFL Combine on-field workouts begin today. The defensive linemen and the linebackers will run and do drills later today. So we're going to get into some intriguing prospects going into the Combine for the draft. But before we do that, something news that came across that I don't understand this at all. Before we get to this, the Pac-12 network will continue to operate in 2024-25.
How?
Why?
The bigger question is why.
Okay, both how and why.
Look, who's your audience?
Who are your teams?
Who are those great games that you show nonstop?
Like what? There's only so many Oregon State moments you can show.
Right.
What am I missing?
Here's Ryan Leaf.
It doesn't make sense, because if I'm a Mountain West team who they'll be playing, then give me some of that money, because you just showed me for the whole year.
You know what? This is my go-to. Blame him. You did this.
I did not do this. I didn't do this. Is dumb. This is seriously getting an oil change on a rental car. There's no point to this. Just shut it down. There's nobody out there. Just admit defeat. It's almost like they want to say, no, we still have two teams. No, you don't. No one cares. These two teams were so bad that no one wanted them. They were the last picks, and people just said, screw it, we're done. We're just going to leave them to the side. The Big 12 didn't want you. Big 10 didn't want you. Nobody wanted you.
Please tell me it gets better from here.
Oh, we'll just start talking about some prospects here leading into the draft. So let's start with Tavondre Sweat. He weighed in today at 362 pounds, and some people are maybe believing he could be a Jordan Davis type. Is he an intriguing prospect for this draft?
I don't think that that's necessarily fair. Sweat has more disruption ability than Jordan Davis. I'm never going to label him a pass rusher, but he's better with his hands. He's got better quicks. I think he's a little bit more than just a dominant run stuffer. And here's the downside. He's nowhere near as good against the run as Jordan. Jordan Davis was all-time good.
Yeah.
I think Sweat's a more balanced player. But the weight will always concern you. You're drafting a guy who's the better part of 400 pounds. Like that, that's a bit of a concern.
But see, I'm never concerned about that, because once you finally get to a team, you're going to have a nutritionist. You're going to have people around you. You can get it built into your contract so that if
like Zion.
Yeah, so that if it does become a problem, okay, we have an out. So, son, you can't eat your way out the league. But this is one where maybe structure helps you out. And when you're in competition with other top players, you want to do better. You want to eat better. You want to take better care of yourself. I've never been worried about that, David, because people are like, oh, well, look at the tape.
By the way,
I don't care how big he is, he disrupts. And if you could put him, he may never be a superstar. Hold on. He may never be a superstar, but if you put him next to somebody else, that's one of those lines where you're like, man, nobody's getting through there.
how does a guy 366 pounds have a 26-inch vertical jump?
Once again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the weight because he's athletic. He's a freak of nature.
That's crazy.
Okay? He just rewards himself with a couple extra oatmeal cream pies.
Let's get over here to talk about Chop Robinson. Many people believe that he is
That's Mr. Pork Chop Robinson.
really
to you.
good defensive end, but he never quite amounted to what was expected to be a premier pass rusher in college. Thoughts on him as a very intriguing prospect for the
He
draft.
likes him better than I do. I'm not really
No sweat,
impressed.
same
with him.
game parlay,
So for me, I'll
FanDuel,
stay out of this.
Thursdays
Not to be
with
married to a
TNT
particular person, but
and NBA
like if he's there at
basketball.
29
FanDuel's
and
got
the
you covered.
Lions have
Bonus
that
bets
pick, I
back.
would not be
Same game
angry.
parlay doesn't win
I
on the
don't
NBA
think that
on
Penn
TNT.
State utilized him the
NBA
way
same
that he
game
is, and I
parlays,
do
perfect
think
way.
that he
Find
can
bets,
be
can score bigger
an
payday.
edge rusher.
Bet less, win
He's
more.
the guy
I gotta be
that
honest,
you put opposite of Aiden. It's the guy that we said,
Have
get
at it.
Aiden a
Props,
playmate.
people seem to love
That's a
him. However
playmate.
you want to play.
He can be
Just
explosive.
FanDuel.com/ticket. That's FanDuel.com/ticket. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and up, present Michigan. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund, $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms, sportsbook.fanduel.com. You got a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117. All right, Odyssey.com, rewind, you missed anything. Obviously, a lot of Jared Goff today. If you, we had some interesting Izzo audio. We did one segment on in the 4 o'clock near deal breakers. If you want to go hear it, we have reached the bitter, angry, defiant stage. Awesome place to be. David, ticket
and on
text.
Cash the Ticket, Mike is going to break down Caitlin Clark and her going to the WNBA.
Well, no, you schooled me on something that was actually fascinating. Is she might make more money at Iowa than she will make in the WNBA. My assumption, which may be false, I thought she would make more on the deals that she signs being in the WNBA with the new TV deal.
Right.
Like you don't see all of her games. And if where's she going to go? Indianapolis? That was number one pick in the WNBA?
Indiana Fever, yeah.
But yeah, she's already in State Farm commercials. She's already in commercials already nationwide.
Yeah, listen.
Like she's not, got the mom and pop come to my bakery NIL.
Right. And,
she's with Jake.
But you
from State
said it.
Farm.
You said it best though. This is the problem. This is why I don't think we're going to validate much of anything in the last 5 years of college sports. Caleb Williams and Caitlin Clark are both going to take pay cuts to go pro.
Mm-hmm.
Think that over. And if you want to disregard Clark because the WNBA is largely a failed organization and they don't pay their players a lot, even though they're paying them more than what the revenue would actually say they should get, fine. But you can't say it with Caleb. Caleb taking a pay cut to be the number one player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The
Rookie,
NIL
the
stuff
rookie
is-
contract.
The NIL stuff's crazy.
It's right. But it's why I think, and we'll get into this later, but it's why I think you're going to see a lot of players stick around a lot longer in college because
it pays more to stay than be a second-round pick in the NFL, which is absolutely absurd.
It's why I think like Blake Corum, even though he was injured last year, I can just stay at Michigan and make more money.
And look, Caitlin Clark, I mean, I just assumed she'd sign landmark deals in the WNBA as almost the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Like they're going to try to use her like Steph Curry, and she'll get crazy deals because she'll be backed by ESPN and the NBA. The NBA backs
here's the
the
thing.
WNBA.
I don't know because I think you already got a lot of people who are just like, you know what, she's getting a little too much notoriety.
Well, for college she is, but in the that's a
No,
different...
but I'm saying because people are like, she's going to be the best player ever. And other WNBA players are like, wait, you realize when she comes in here, we're basically going to just have to beat this girl down and show her who's boss.
I don't know. She just shoots it from the logo and crushes. I don't know. Admittedly, you've watched more of her than I have. I just see the highlights, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how you guard that. Dude, she shot from the Hawkeye. What, are you kidding me? I'm like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, they actually put something right there on the court where she made that shot against Michigan to break the record. That's like going to be a permanent spot.
Basically
on the court.
half court.
Actually, we're going to do that at the Breslin. We're actually going to repaint the seat that Xavier Booker is stuck into.
You know what? I'm going to give you that one.
It's going to be the
That's pretty
special
good.
Xavier Booker memorial seat. After he can't get in the game in the last 15 minutes.
What a great NIL. A chair company. Steel case.
Honestly.
Steel case.
Perfect.
Yeah. A Grand Rapids company can NIL Xavier Booker.
Can they put one in the classroom for Doug?
Does he know where the classroom is?
Okay, that's
the point. It would be the only seat he's had. He wasn't sitting in it.
Okay. Why don't we just do some ticket texts?
I get what
So,
you
yeah,
did.
Caitlin Clark's going pro. I guess I didn't view that there would ever be an option. Well, she has a COVID year. I'm like, what do you want her to do? Score 100,000 points in college? Like, enough. I'm bored.
Honestly, the question was going into the year, but I think once she broke the record, there's no need to come back.
I think the Big Ten wanted her to come back because of the
Yeah.
attention.
You see how much tickets were to see her play Indiana?
Yeah, Mike, how about this? Me and Chuck had looked into going to the Breslin Center if they were playing. They only played one time this year, and it was at Iowa. But the women's Big Ten tournament sold out.
Yeah, and I made a bad assumption. I just thought the money would be bigger in the pros with the sponsorships. Maybe you're right. Maybe she's the biggest fish in the small pond that is.
I think everybody just
college
wants to say
sports.
I was at one of her games to see it happen.
She's going to make a hell of a lot of money regardless. I still can't believe some of the shots she takes. I'm like, what on earth?
I mean, not everybody can date a McCaffrey.
I didn't realize that. I had to look it up, but it's not the kid who's on the team currently. It's the one who graduated.
Right. Franz had like a bunch of kids on.
Yeah, and they can all play.
Not all.
Well, all right.
One of them could really play. The other ones just were McCaffrey.
You're asking, you know what? I'm gonna move on. David, go ahead with the ticket text because I don't know where Rieger is.
Sam in Grand Rapids, 40 to 45 million per year for Goff is a win for everyone. Please get this done now so we can start spending elsewhere for the team.
According to some callers, there is no need to spend. You need to we have a 10-year window.
Was expecting Goff to get $50 million, so this is a great deal for both parties. You keep hearing about how Goff should take a team-friendly deal like Brady used to. Well,
right.
It seems like
this defines it, doesn't it? And by the way, programming note, tomorrow, Stoney debuts here with Rico. Not only are you getting This Week in Sports by the numbers, we have a special Stoney by the numbers. And Roberto shared with me some of his questions. Outstanding.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm proud of Roberto. They're all not sexualized. They're actual sports questions.
I was worried.
It will be fun because I know Stoney's going to play along.
Because I'm like, Roberto, you have to do this, and then you're gone. And then I got to clean up this mess.
Well, it's going to be a mess. Listen, it'll be a fun mess.
Right. Next thing you know, I'm in Jimmy's office. Why did you let this happen? Like Mike set this up, really?
All right, so Rieger's up next, allegedly. We're out of here. Stoney with Rico tomorrow. We good?
We good.
All right, 97.1.